Appreciate you taking the time to be here. So I'm just going to share my screen because I want to share a PowerPoint presentation with you. So even though you can see that. Can you see my screen all right? Okay. Nothing. No?
It's there now. It's there now.
The Art of Letting Go Masterclass. Okay. So yeah, as I said, if you have any questions as we go, either make a note of them and we'll have time for questions at the end, but small sessions, so I don't mind making it interactive. You can just fire away, stick something in the chat or put up your hand. See someone put something in the chat. Okay, Brooke said yes. Okay, so without further ado, let me crack on with this. So welcome to the Art of Letting Go Masterclass. This is really all about how to let go and find your flow. My name is Jonathan Quail. I'll introduce myself as I go along. I've known Lauren for about over 10 years now, I think. So that's how most of you come to be here. The first, just kind of the full title of this is How to Master the Art of Letting Go of Any Stressful Thought or Emotion in Minutes and Find Authentic Happiness, Fulfilling Flow, Higher Purpose, and Ecstatic Well-Being to thrive through adversity in these pretty turbulent times we live in by tapping into the transformative power of 7 ancient spiritual techniques. So there's quite a lot there, but that's what I'm going to unpack for you over the next couple of hours. So hold on to your seats. So just to give you a little overview of the objectives and the structure of this. First up, I'm going to guide you through a simple breathing exercise and a 2-step letting go process. Help you just to let go and relax into this and be fully present. So I think let's do that now without further ado. So just making yourself comfortable, sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises, the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Just clenching your sphincter muscle, the muscle we use to lock the energy in. Feel the energy up the spine, feeling rising up into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Find that helpful just to connect with your heart space. And then draw it up into the crown of your head, just pausing at the top of the inhale. And just bring to mind any kind of situation that's going on in your life at the moment that's disturbing your peace in any way. So it could be something major, could be a minor irritation, a bit of frustration, maybe some fear. Whatever the issue is, just bring it to mind and notice the thoughts and emotions that are arising in response to the situation and the person and people involved, because there's always people involved. That's disturbing your peace. And be fully present, just aware of these thoughts and emotions. So you're able to look at them but remain quite detached from them to stop them from triggering more negative thoughts and emotions. Let's breathe in again, and as you breathe in, create some space. Just like creating awareness, spacious awareness. And so imagine yourself just being separate from or floating above these thoughts and emotions. Living in the clouds and just sort of looking down on above the clouds, and you're just looking down in these clouds, just kind of drifting by. Imagine you're a bird and you're just floating with your wings extended, you're an albatross, and you just kind of notice these thoughts and emotions, these cloud patterns, just drifting by. And so although there might be some kind of emotion, there's also a sense of detachment. You can just observe this. So notice the feelings, notice the thoughts, notice how this shows up in the body, any physical sensations, maybe a knot in your stomach, a block in the chest, subtle clenching of the jaw, clenched fists, dry mouth, sweaty palms, nausea, panic attacks, all these things can come just from your thoughts and emotions. So you're going to just choose to let all this go now. Just breathe in, another deep breath in, and imagine that you're breathing light. Beautiful golden or white light into every pore, every cell, every muscle of the body, particularly into any areas where there's tension, where there's darkness. And the light comes in and it just dissipates. And now, as you exhale out the mouth fully, you're just going to let it all go. Imagine you blowing the dark energy away. The breeze of your breath, it's like a dark cloud is moving. Just going, into the nothingness that it really is. Allow the stomach into the spine to expel the last remaining air out. Contract the stomach in and just find some stillness, some peace at the bottom of the exhale. And now just breathing in again. This deep, slow, rhythmical breath in through the nose. It's called a diaphragmatic breath. So just do, say, 10 of these nice, deep, rhythmical breaths in through the nose. Notice how air flows in through the nostrils, the chest, and the stomach rise. First stomach, then chest. Pause briefly at the top of the inhale. Just use the time to scan your mind. If there's thoughts and emotion, try to let go. It's still lurking there, still a little bit of it. Just exhale. And it will go. Find some stillness. And repeat the cycle, so breathing in, just in and out through your nose and out. There's the subtle sensation of the breath in your nostrils, going into your nostrils and then out of your nostrils. Stomach rises and the stomach falls. And you just sink into a deep, calm, relaxed state. Allow yourself just to enjoy the peaceful sense of relief and freedom that you should feel as you let go of some of the toxic thoughts and emotions that may have been tormenting you for longer than you know. This is all happening in the subconscious. And you can just smile as you do this, keep watching the breath, smiling. And you should be feeling pretty happy. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do. For a minute, stand in silence to watch your breath, just breathing in and out through the nose. And surrender it to this deep, calm, peaceful place. Observing the subtle sensations of the breath flowing into the nostrils and out of the nostrils. Touch of the breath in the area just below your nose, between your nose and your upper lip. Be aware of a very subtle sensation that brings your mind completely into the present moment. So just breathe, relax, be still for a minute or so of deep silence. So just gently coming back. Into an awareness of the body and the breath, the senses, and the world. On the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing sensations of the breath as you do that, stomach rising, chest rising, so the flow of air into the nostrils. More than the top of the inhale, scan your minds. So maybe there's a little bit more light than 10 minutes ago. Just notice that if it's there. And anchor this state in for the rest of the session. So just by noticing it, and stay in this clear, calm, open state. And to help you do that, just keep some attention on your breathing. Nice, deep, slow, rhythmical diaphragmatic breaths. Just create some space and some openness in your mind. It will help you to be as receptive to what's going to be shared as possible. So exhale out through the nose, notice how the air flows out, chest and the stomach suck back in, feel the energy as you raised up into the crown of the head, just subsiding back down to the lower stomach and the groin. And then on the count of 2, the weight of the body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Noticing what you're feeling and touching with your hands, your body, maybe there's a subtle flow of air on your skin, notice that. Breathe in, notice any smell in your nose, any taste in your mouth. And notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. But without any judgment, there's just a peaceful presence, peaceful awareness. You're very calm, very open, very receptive. An empty vessel ready just waiting to receive. It's divine transmission going to happen tonight. And so on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. Just take 30 seconds to look around, orienting yourself back. Just notice maybe how your perception has changed a little bit compared with 12 minutes ago when we started. Maybe just a bit more light, a bit clearer, a bit more open. Keep watching your breath as you observe the world, and just don't judge anything. Whatever you see in the room around you, just let it be. You don't need to think about it, name it, judge it, label it. This was how you practice non-judgmental perception. So that brings us to the end of the little breathing exercise. So that's a two-step letting go process, which you should have received. It's attached to the registration email that you got. So that's a gift. You can use this anytime. And I also sent you a little recording. We'll guide you through it, which you can download. So a very, very simple little process, but it's powerful. It can help you to let go of pretty much anything. There's a more industrial strength process that I'm going to share with you at the end, if we have time, called the 10-step letting go process. Okay, so that's the first part of the masterclass. Hope you enjoyed that. As I said, just keep watching your breath a little bit, just to keep you in this nice, present and aware state, the best state to be in, to be receptive to whatever shared. So I'm going to share one secret skill that you need to master to allow your life to work miraculously. It's the one thing you won't read very much about. So many people, teachers overlook it, but in all of my learning and personal growth that I've gone through, this is what's come for me. So there's just this one thing, this one secret skill you need to master, which has some profound benefits. I'll talk about those. There's 4 major benefits, life-changing benefits of mastering the skill. I'll talk about 7 stress-busting techniques to help you to master it, because that's okay, well, there's a skill. How do I learn the skill? How do I master the skill? So talk about that and how you can integrate practicing these techniques into your daily life to experience the life-changing benefits consistently. Then we'll have some time for questions. And finally, if you're still up for it, I'll take you through a longer meditation, a 10-step letting go process in meditation, which is my gift to Lauren, because apparently it's her birthday, so happy birthday, Lauren. And anyone else is welcome to stay for that. So it's a 20-minute meditation. I'll give you the written worksheet for the process, plus a half-hour recording to guide you through it, and a chance to run a 30-minute online breath coaching session as well, if you stay until the very end of the session. So it's a little incentive to stay for the full process. Okay, so that's the preliminaries done. Just wanted to ask you a question, really. So you don't have to answer it, but just pause and reflect on it. Why are you here today? Tonight? This morning in Katie's case. And it must be because you're looking for something. No one comes to presentations like this if they're not seeking something. What is that? You may think that you're looking for just some relief. You're stressed out, you're anxious, depressed, there's disease going on in your mind, maybe disease in the body. That's a common reason. Related to that is better health. You may not be in bad health, but you want to improve your health. More wealth, that's a very common reason for people to join webinars. Better relationships, generally a better quality of life and lifestyle. So those might be some of the overt reasons why you're here. But again, let me ask you a question. Ultimately, what are you really looking for? Just pause and reflect on that. Again, a rhetorical question, but just think about it in your mind. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll see that it's this one thing that we call happiness. There's other names for it. You can call it inner peace, joy. You could call it love, but I've chosen happiness because I like the word, and I think it describes a state of being just okay with life. You know, joy is a state that implies some kind of really heightened state and quite difficult to sustain, but happiness is just a sense of being really okay, you're not stressed, there's no negative, and you're just able to live in that state. So again, a question, why haven't you found lasting happiness? The truth is, you wouldn't be here if you had. If you were in bliss all the time, well, there's no need to seek. And don't take this personally, it's not your fault. It's just that we've been conditioned by our society to look in the wrong place. Society programs us to think that we'll be happy when we have better or more something external to us. So those first questions I asked, like you might have think you're here because if you want more wealth or better health, better relationships. These are the common things that we think we need in order to be happier. And so I'm just going to go through a couple of really very common ideas in our society, which are really delusions, as I'll explain. So the first one is the body, and a fit, healthy, sexy body is highly prized. In our society, these bodies are used to market all kinds of products and services, as we know, and very few people live up to this image of the body, this kind of youthful, fit, healthy body. And of course, the body is going to age. So even if you have a body like that, in time you may find that you no longer do. Over time, the body ages, it decays, and we end up getting grey and old, starting to have to do things to try and maintain the body, take medication, walking sticks, and so on. So clearly that's not sustainable, it's not going to last if your body is your source of happiness. Another source that people look to is material things, a nice car, nice clothes, jewelry, and whatever does it for you on the material level. And again, that's very temporary. These things don't last. If anyone's ever bought a new car, probably all have had that experience maybe once or twice in their life, you'll know that initially there's a bit of a thrill. It's like, it's great, a new car, and then really within a few days that just wears off. Even if you bought a car like this, a fancy sports car, within a few days it's going to wear off. The thrill's gone, and it's just another car. Then often people go, I need I want the thrill again, so I need a new car. You end up buying an assortment of vehicles if they've got the money for it. I remember watching a program about a billionaire in Turkey, and he had something like 20 Ferraris. It was just ridiculous. crazy stuff. So that's looking for happiness somewhere outside of you. But of course, these things, again, cars break down, cars need insurance. There's nothing in this world that's without its problems. A nice house might be a big desire. Imagine if I had a house like that, then I could be really happy, we tell ourselves. Well, firstly, a lot of people who live in those houses aren't necessarily happy because it's not the house that's making them happy. And often they've got various, issues inside of them that make them not very happy. Of course, a house needs insurance. A house can burn down. None of this stuff is permanent. So, again, not really a wise choice to place your faith in a house to make you happy. A relationship. So this is a big one. For a lot of people, it's like, well, when I meet my soulmate, Mr. or Mrs. Right, then I'll be happy. And of course, nothing could be further from the truth, because they lived happily ever after. It seldom happens. But usually, if you're in a special relationship, you know that there's ups and there's downs. There's times where it seems to be blissful, and then there's times where it can be totally awful. And of course, in travel terms, if you like traveling, going on holiday, then in the last couple of years you're going to be quite disappointed because a lot of it's closed. So these kinds of experiences, having a nice meal, There's nothing wrong with that. But if you make it a source of your happiness, clearly that's not going to work too well, because you only have that experience for a very short time. Even if you do it once a week, that's 2-3 hours of your week. What about the rest of the time? As I said, the special relationship, if it's with a partner, if that turns sour, I think we've all been through situations where just how bad that can make us seemingly feel, and how it can negatively affect. Oh, there's Crystal. So this is where you'll never find authentic happiness. So this is a lady called Dr. Laurie Santos, who does a podcast called The Happiness Lab. And she's saying that we often think we know what will make us happy, but the science shows us that our minds don't always point us in the right direction. So we long for all the things that I've just been through: fame, money, a beach body, a new car. And we expect these things will make us happy. And of course, there's always marketers who are wanting to sell their products to us that are going to try and perpetuate that illusion on our minds. But the research simply says that this is flat out wrong. Her words. You'll see in the background, the happiness is 18 days of festive deals. I took that photo over the last festive season, because what an illusion. If happiness is 18 days of festive deals, then what happens when they're gone? You might think that happiness lies in books. Now, I've read many of these books, and don't get me wrong, there's some amazing teaching, there's some wisdom in there. But in the end, happiness is an experience. It's not going to be given to you by a book. It's your application of ideas in the book consistently that can make you happy. And all too often, people don't even read these books. They might only read a chapter or two. And then in terms of application, often they're not applied. The classic case is someone just living in books and not actually applying this to their life. Maybe it's experiences like this. This is a seminar given by Tony Robbins. You recognize him. I've actually been to one of these. Look pretty much exactly like that. 4,000 people in London. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's getting hyped up. And Tony's on stage doing his thing, and I kind of went, is this really sustainable happiness, or is this just a hype? Is this going to last? What happens after the weekend? And people come back to their lives and their problems, and all the hype and the razzmatazz is no longer there. Then they've just got to sit with themselves, find a source of happiness within. It's not created by music or some superstar motivational speaker. Another source that people look for happiness is in pills, drugs, substances. A very common one. Our society is addicted to seemingly external means, which in the end don't work. So addiction leads to a lot of pain and suffering. You seek for pleasure, actually you seek for pain. That's the truth of the matter. Psychotherapy might be another place. All too often it just becomes about talking endlessly about the past and not actually correcting anything. And I know people have been in therapy for years, so it becomes almost another addiction. One chap had to break up with his therapist because there was a codependence that developed. Now, I'm not saying psychotherapy can't be helpful, but the idea is to help you to correct your mind and then move on. Don't get stuck in it for years. So all of these things are really a form of external searching. And as of course, the Miracle says, all mental illness is some form of external searching, and that's symbolized by money in our society. Money has really been invented to give us the ability to do this external searching. And so how we do that, our whole society is geared up towards external searching. What can I buy next? What's gonna fulfill my needs? What's gonna make me happy? What's gonna satisfy me? What's gonna give me pleasure? What's gonna help me avoid pain? And money can apparently buy it for you. And so we need to work in order to earn the money in order to continue this external searching, which the Course says is a form of mental illness. So it's not surprising that our society is a bit dysfunctional when the fundamental principle is this external searching, using money as the means to achieve that. So let's ask what is really the cause of unhappiness? A little kind of detective exercise. The cause of unhappiness. Well, this is a lady called Marisa Peer, who is probably Britain's best-known hypnotherapist. She's been a therapist to people like Princess Diana, Amy Winehouse, many celebrities, Hollywood A-listers, these kinds of people were clients. And this is her observation after years of working with these people. So when you know and believe you're enough, you don't need more. But when you feel and believe you're not enough, you'll always want more. So she saw this with her clients. Her clients, celebrities, they seemingly have everything. They've got money, they've got fame, they've usually got a relationship with a member of the same or the opposite sex who's attractive, and yet they're not happy, they're not satisfied, they're looking for more. And she saw this pattern over and over. It's because they're not happy within themselves. So if they don't believe they're enough, then they're always seeking more. And all she got them to do to help with healing them is to say an affirmation that I'm enough. Many times a day, I am enough, I am enough. Simple as that, and it really started to work. Because it's a core belief that most of us suffer from, that we're not enough, and therefore we want to compensate for our sense of not being enough by doing something external, and this is where the searching comes in. So we desire something to fill a hole. As the Buddha noted 2,500 years ago, desire is the source of all suffering. And why did he say that? Well, because desire means that you're not happy as you are. You're always looking for something else. You're really saying, I'm not fulfilled as I am. And obviously, the more you desire something, the more that you fear that you won't have it. So all stress, it's just a perception of some form of external threat. That's all stress is. So that threat may be completely in your mind. Oh, you don't think that a desire of yours is going to be met. That creates some stress. So on the flip side of desire is the stress that's caused when you have expectations that are not met. Just the fear of those expectations not being met creates stress. And that's just a perception of some form of external threat. So fear and desire are really two sides of the same coin. And none of them will bring you this lasting happiness that we're looking for. So we looked at what's the cause of unhappiness. Let's consider what's the key to happiness. So, okay, let's look to A Course in Miracles, which I'll talk a bit more about shortly, but it's a very profound teaching from Jesus, spiritual master, and this is what he says: the mental health is inner peace. So external searching is mental illness. Mental health is inner peace. It enables you to remain unshaken by a lack of love from without, and capable through your own miracles, correcting the external conditions which proceed from lack of love in others. So it's about remaining unshakable. So it means happiness isn't really a goal in itself. You don't go pursuing this. You simply sit quietly, as this quote says, like a butterfly. And instead of pursuing happiness, which when pursued is always just beyond your grasp, this happiness may come if you simply sit down quietly, and it may just alight on you like a butterfly. And that process of just sitting quietly is formally known as meditation. So just sitting quietly without an expectation, without seeking for happiness, is actually the best way to experience it. Because it is your natural state. If you open your mind to it, it will just alight on you like the butterfly in that quote. So how does this happen then? Well, there's a process to it. And this is a scene from the movie The Matrix. At the back of Neo's head, he's the main character. You've probably all seen The Matrix. He's at the Oracle, and she points to this sign above her door frame and says, "You know what that means?" And he doesn't. Diaphragmatic, it means know thyself in Latin, which is really the ancient injunction of every great spiritual teacher and master. In modern psychology, this chap called Csikszentmihalyi, he's really saying the same thing all the masters have said in his books on the concept of flow. So he says to know oneself is the first step toward making flow part of one's entire life. Just as there is no free lunch in the material economy, nothing comes free in the psychic one. If one is not willing to invest psychic energy in the internal reality of consciousness and instead squanders it in chasing external rewards, one loses mastery of one's life and ends up becoming a puppet of circumstances. So he's just saying what every great spiritual teacher has said throughout the ages, that if you are seeking externally, this external seeking, as Jesus says, is a form of mental illness, you actually squander this precious consciousness you have because you're putting it in places, chasing external rewards that are not going to lead you to mastery in your life. So you end up becoming a victim or puppet of circumstances, which is very disempowering. This is not happiness. This is upset and misery. And in the victim state, anything can trigger you. You're not in control anymore of your thoughts and your emotions. Fortunately, there's a way to learn this. So if you're not quite there yet, then you can learn this. And as Charles Glassman said, happiness often relies on just one character trait. That's the discipline. Self-discipline. And so you might ask, well, self-discipline to do what? Well, in a nutshell, I'd summarize this as the self-discipline to let go of any negative thought/emotion. I'll hyphenate that because thought leads to an emotion, emotion leads to thought, and it's quite actually difficult to distinguish them. So we don't need to, really. Just any negative thought, emotion, as and when it arises. Now, this is the key, which, by the way, is the number one skill that I promised to share. This ability, this self-discipline to let go of any negative thought and emotion as it arises. So what does this lead to? Well, if you can let go of any negative thought or emotion, you can actually be authentically happy. And the reason is because happiness or unhappiness is always experienced in your own mind. That is true. It's not outside of you, it's an internal state. And therefore, only your own negative thoughts and feelings can make you unhappy. No one can impose these on you. You can still choose to change your mind about anything that's seemingly negative. So only your own negative thoughts and feelings can make you unhappy. This is also a truth. So because these two things are true, therefore learning how to let go of your negative thoughts and emotions must be the key to your happiness. That's the simplest, most direct formula for happiness that I know. Just learning how to let go. So that's benefit number one. Then benefit two is that you can experience this thing called fulfilling flow. So if you can let go of your negative thoughts and emotions quickly, then you're able to stay calm and poised and able to enjoy each moment, no matter what seems to be happening. And that's really what a state of flow is. It's in the moment without expectations. The base state of happiness. Now you can actually perform it at a high level, being calm and poised, able to enjoy each moment are powerful benefits. And that leads you to the ability to take positive and effective action, respond to any situation. So that's benefit number 2 of learning this key skill of letting go. Just to reiterate that, it's really about acting freely. This is the best definition of flow that I've found. It's when we act freely for the sake of the action itself, rather than ulterior motives. So it's about no agenda, just doing it because it's the right thing to do, because it's what we feel. So in the picture you see a father, I presume, with his daughter is having some fun. And there's no agenda, you're not doing that for an ulterior motive, it's just the process is self-rewarding. And in doing this, here's the key thing about flow: we learn to become more than what we were. So this injunction of know thyself, how we learn this is through flow, because we become more than the maybe stressed, unhappy, negative person we thought we were. Become able to let go, release, and find real joy. Okay, and then benefits number 3 and 4. So this is also the key to higher purpose and to ecstatic well-being. Let's look at the sequence. So we've got authentic happiness, because you can let go of any negativity. That leads to flow in every aspect of your life, inevitably. Because the base state of happiness allows the flow to start happening in every aspect of your life. And if it's not happening, you return to first principles and say, well, maybe I need to let go some more. So we flow in every aspect of our life from the base state of happiness. And then we have a healthy, meaningful, extraordinary, ordinary life, I call it, filled with miraculous experiences and results. So that is really your definition of success. I think I couldn't really argue that if someone was experiencing health and having a meaningful life and their life's pretty extraordinary in its ordinariness, so they don't need to be doing anything extraordinary. It's just extraordinary in their state of mind. And the experiences start to become extraordinary. Those experiences we call miraculous experiences, which is a shift from fear to love, and you may well extend those out to other people as well. So it's not just about you, it's about helping others too. So that's 3 benefits, 3 and 4. So authentic happiness, fulfilling flow, higher purpose. Just to summarize, how to let go of any negative thoughts and emotions, know how challenging the situation to cope with seems to be. That's the absolute foundation, the key. Then you've got fulfilling flow. So from that foundation of happiness, you can find yourself remaining poised and actually quite enjoying the moment, even though there may be some kind of problem or crisis. You can take positive and effective action to respond to any situation appropriately. It's really the essence of flow. And then number 3 and 4, the key to higher purpose.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can you let Crystal back in? She got kicked out.
Okay. She needs to try and come back in.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, then I will.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, so and then you've got benefits 3 and 4, the key to higher purpose and ecstatic well-being, is really how to put this all together, how to be happy and in flow in every aspect of your life, and live a healthy, meaningful, extraordinary, ordinary life filled with miraculous experiences and results, which is true success. If you're experiencing all of that, authentic happiness, fulfilling flow, higher purpose, and a sense of ecstatic well-being, that's pretty fulfilled and successful life, I'd say. What I call an extraordinary, ordinary life. So it's not about doing anything necessarily extraordinary, it's about changing your mind and seeing it differently. So can you see why letting go is really the critical skill? There we go. Crystal's coming back in. So you've got letting go at the top here. If you can let go of any negative thought and emotion as it arises, then happiness is possible. And this is an authentic happiness. This is a permanent, lasting happiness. Because if you can let go of your negativity, there's nothing to stop you from being happy. So that's what I call authentic happiness. That is the foundation. Without happiness, you can't be in flow. It's a precursor to flow. Flow is kind of happiness in action. So you need the foundational happiness, just a base state of being pretty happy. And then fulfillment, higher purpose, and ecstatic well-being come at the end of that. So it starts with letting go, moves through happiness, fulfilling flow, and you end up having a life that most people can't imagine, where there really is fulfillment. You really do feel fulfilled just by your daily life. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. And there's a sense of higher purpose in it, just because you're experiencing happiness moment by moment by moment, and you're able to stay calm and poised. It's not sometime in the future that you're looking for your purpose. It's right now. And then ecstatic well-being, you might think I'm exaggerating, but you'll see.
You give me a burger.
Why?
Crystal, you live.
I'm just going to mute. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, if you can't let go, then happiness disappears, because whatever is triggering you, you become a puppet of circumstances. External things trigger you, you feel unhappy, you feel negative, fearful. So happiness disappears. Without happiness, you can't flow. And without happiness and flow, forget fulfillment, higher purpose, and ecstatic well-being, those are not going to come. So what you then end up doing is just kind of grinding your way through life, often in quite a negative state, and looking to some kind of external means to resolve your problems. And then you're in that external searching mode. Whereas this is inside out. This is saying, no, you can let go. You can choose to let go of whatever is disturbing your peace, whatever's making you unhappy. And in doing that, you take responsibility and you allow yourself to experience these profound benefits. So these are the 4 benefits. Authentic happiness, fulfilling flow, high purpose, and ecstatic well-being that I promised to share. And so a good question now, which you might be asking yourself, is how can I learn this? Because honestly, most people are really bad at letting go. It's not a skill that we've been taught at school. No one's taught us this. In fact, life teaches us the opposite. These are how to get attached and how to get really wound up by things and upset by things that we value. So we need some new information given, and I'm giving you some of that tonight. It's a necessary, but it's not a sufficient step for a true transformation of mind to happen. Yes, you need to be exposed to some new ideas, some new information, but you also need for it to become an experience. It's not just an idea in your mind. So there's 2 ways to this true transformation. Through intense pain and suffering, you're forced to go within and break through suddenly to a new level of understanding and wisdom. This is the old way. It's a very painful way. It can take years. There's no guarantee you'll do it. You just suffer and suffer until maybe one day you break through, something happens, and you kind of wake up. It can happen. Happened to Eckhart Tolle. If you've read his book, The Power of Now, in his introduction, describes this experience where he just couldn't stand his life anymore. He's lying in bed and he's going, I can't stand myself anymore. I can't stand this. And then he realized, well, maybe there's two selves. There's an I. What's the I that then can't stand myself? And that kind of, he realized that there was a split in his mind. And it was so intense that he just passed out from that experience, woke up the next morning, and his ego had just dropped away. And he got up and he was, I feel so happy and so light. And he went out, he was in London at the time, he was catching buses in London. It's just so peaceful. So that can happen, but he had to go through a lot of misery. His first 29 years of his life were not very happy by his own admission in order to get there. So that's one way. And then the second way is to do transformation, is to conscious, disciplined practice of spiritual ideas and techniques. You systematically grow in understanding and in wisdom, which is what I call the way of mastery. So this is also a very ancient way. It's been going on for many thousands of years. All spiritual teachings and practices have some aspect of this. So they're saying if you practice these ideas and these techniques, then you start to gain more mastery of your mind and you start to become happier, able to let go more. So this is a much more proactive path, number two, than number one. An element of number one is usually there because truth be told, you wouldn't do the things in number two unless you'd suffered in number one. But the difference is here you're consciously doing something about it. Here you're just suffering and being stubborn and waiting for some kind of epiphany to come, which may or may not come. Not a particularly reliable one. Whereas with transformation through mastery, there are specific principles and practices that you can use. So it's about, first of all, understanding and realization through your personal experience. It's all about personal experience. It requires your active willingness and your disciplined effort in order to achieve. So you've got to put some time and effort about doing key spiritual practices regularly, things like breath work, meditation. I'll go into what these are now. And it can be greatly facilitated by another person or group. We help to raise the initiate's consciousness. I'm talking in alchemical language here. If you are on this path, you become an initiate in alchemy. And so it can be facilitated by the facilitator of the group as well as the group members. So there's a very positive energy that can come in groups. And it's also about being held accountable. So if there's a group happening and you're in a process, if you haven't done your homework, then it's not going to work. The positive energy will help you to just stay accountable, and no one is monitoring, saying, "Oh, bad boy or girl, you didn't do it." But just knowing that you're part of a group can really help to make you want to do it. And then it's also about immersion in these key spiritual practices in a positive field of consciousness that greatly accelerates it. And that happens in a group, and if you're connecting using a technology like this on Zoom, there is a transmission of energy. It's happening right now. Maybe you can feel it. So I've also promised to share these spiritual practices, these 7 transformative techniques. So that's what I'm going to do. These are key spiritual practices that you can do, including breathwork techniques. If it's anything to do with the breath, And that actually involves, I've referenced in the brackets there, I've referenced to the yogic tradition. Just so you know, this has very ancient roots. Yoga is thousands of years old. It was formulated a couple of thousand years ago by Patanjali, but it had been going for thousands of years before that. This is very ancient wisdom. In the yogic system, they talk about these asanas, the limbs of yoga. So you've got asana, you've got pranayama, and you've got pratyahara. So those are all, asana is posture, that's sitting in a posture. Pranayama is breath control, literally breath discipline. Pratyahara is a withdrawal of the senses, which tends to happen with any kind of breathing. You go within, you close your eyes, we did a bit of that earlier, and you just withdraw the senses and go into your mind. Same thing with meditation. I use what we call multi-dimensional meditation. So give you a recording where you can use touch, taste, toning, breathing, visualization, all these things to help you to go into a deeper state of what's called dharana. Dharana is focused concentration, so you focus on one thing. For instance, you meditate and use a mantra, or you visualize a candle flame, that's dharana. And then dhyana is if you do that, and you can do that for maybe 10, 20 minutes, you start slipping into a deeper state of contemplation.
Which one did you say was the you slipped into the deeper sense of contemplation?
Is dhyana. So
Diana.
that's number 7 on the limbs. So it's a progression. Dharana is focused concentration. It's a start. You focus the mind on something, and a single point of focus tends to bring you quiet in the mind because you don't have lots of thoughts going on, and then that prepares you for a deeper contemplation where you're not actually thinking about anything. So the mantra is no longer necessary in dhyana. You're really just in your own awareness. You're aware of your own awareness. That's what dhyana is, which then leads you to into the 8th limb, which is samadhi, which I'll get to, which is the enlightened experience. So multi-dimensional meditation, forgiveness and letting go is a key one. So this is about being able to let go consciously of whatever is disturbing your peace, whatever is a negative thought and emotion. In the yogic tradition, they have the yamas, the yama and niyama, which is the things that you're going to avoid, what you're going to avoid, and what you're going to observe. So it's things like cleanliness of the body, diet, exercise, basic kind of like good practices of lifestyle that set a foundation. It also means letting go of some potentially bad habits for a lot of people as well. And then pratyahara is withdrawing the senses. The forgiveness and letting go is all about doing that. All the senses from the world. Don't give the world the reality that you think it has and the power to negatively affect you, and remain unshakable no matter what's happening externally. And so you have this group discussion sessions as well, using this platform Zoom. So that's like a study in the yogic tradition. It's called Svadhyaya, which is part of niyama. So it's a self-study. You're studying usually a text. In yogic tradition, they've got many texts, the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, and so on. You'd study one of these in quite a deep way. So number 5 is reading and listening to spiritual texts, so that you can do on your own, whereas in the group discussion sessions you do it with others. It's also powerful because you've got some accountability going on. Reading and listening to the spiritual text, that's the same, niyamas, svadhyaya. Fasting and abstinence. So this is something that I recommend. You don't have to do it, but you fast for say 12 to maybe 16 hours a day, you find that it's not only good for your health, but it's actually spiritually a detox. You are getting out of the idea that you need to eat so frequently. Eating is a primary kind of attachment of the body, attaches your mind to the body illusion. And then abstinence is just abstaining from, well, it could be food, but things that are not helpful. Maybe you've got some bad habits, some addictions. So it could be alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, shopping, gambling, whatever unhealthy pastimes you like to indulge in. Fasting and abstinence is a way to cure it. And then finally, you've got this end of day reflection, which is a form of meditation, but it's kind of a reflection or contemplation. So it's not quite the same as the deeper meditation, multi-dimensional meditation that I suggest you use. So this involves just asking yourself some questions at the end of the day, and this 4 of the limbs of yoga that involve asana, pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana. So pretty all-encompassing. And then you've got seven key spiritual practices which you can do regularly, ideally every day. You're doing one of these some of the day, and all of that leads you to the state. In the yoga tradition, they call it samadhi. Jesus called it enlightenment. So enlightenment, samadhi, 6 in one, half a dozen in another. It's really a state of sameness of perception. You just stay in the same connected state, no matter what's happening. And that is the enlightened state. So nothing can really shake you. You just walk the world and you're happy and you're peaceful because you know that that's what your source is.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you stay in this. The idea is enlightenment and samadhi is not just something that you drop in and you stay, you're in a super conscious state. It's actually about the sameness of your perception. So you stay there in your daily life. And everything is, so that little state, that 2-step letting go process at the end of it, I said just look around and just don't judge anything. Just observe whatever you're seeing and don't have any mental interpretations about what you're seeing. So this is the state of samadhi. You're not judging and interpreting continuously your sense perceptions. And so there's an underlying, really nice, calm, peaceful awareness that underlies all your sense perceptions and that never changes. And the people who are able to stay there in these states of mind, we call enlightened. And there have been many people, like Jesus, like Buddha, who have done this in their life. They figured out how to do it systematically. It did take them quite a bit of time to get there. So like anyone, they had to train their minds. It didn't just easily happen necessarily. So I'd encourage you to remember that and be willing to go on your own journey. It's all very well saying, well, Jesus saved me, for instance, but he can't save you unless you change your own mind. Okay, so let me just get to an overview of the course. So this brings me to the Art of Letting Go course, which Lauren has actually done. She did the beta version of it that I ran just over 3 years ago, which has evolved a lot since then. So I'm going to just give you a quick overview of what's involved. It's a facilitated 6-week mind and life transformation process. So it's based on the way of mastery, it's based on yoga and immersion learning, the idea that if you really immerse yourself into something, to a field of consciousness, then you're going to learn much quicker. And that process can happen online. You don't need to physically be with people. But doing live sessions via Zoom is quite important. We incorporate 7 key spiritual practices. I've just shown those to you. And the 7 runs of yoga. The key spiritual practices include live and recorded daily online meditations and discussion sessions. We're going to do a lot of breath work, especially in the first week. There'll be some self-study, there's solo meditations. It's a pretty comprehensive program. And the goal of which is to help you to learn to let go of fearful, stressful thoughts and emotions whenever they arise, so you can start consistently experiencing. These are the key benefits. So, number 1, authentic happiness. You recognize these are the key benefits of letting go. They're also the key benefits of the Art of Letting Go course, unsurprisingly, because it's all about learning how to let go. So, key benefit 1 is that you'll know how to let go of any negative thoughts or emotions, no matter what is happening, no matter how challenging the situation for awakening appears to be, and just choose to be happy instead. So a little case study. This is a chap called Phil. He's the older one who did the first course. So you probably remember him, Lauren. He did the first course with you.
Yeah.
And Phil had something of an epiphany, actually. He'd been doing the course, A Course in Miracles, for about 27
I remember him saying that.
And he said that, in the last 6 weeks, I've learned more about this course, Course in Miracles, than the last 27 years of studying it. So it's a deep dive, it's an immersion. I've got some other people who've been doing it for 15 years, and they're just getting a much deeper experience of it. They hadn't done the full course, they just studied the workbook. So this is comprehensive. It's studying the workbook, the text. It's a comprehensive mind training program. And he said learning how to forgive truly was his key benefit, key takeaway. And let me just talk about the Course in Miracles briefly. So what is a Course in Miracles? Is everyone here familiar with the course? Let's just do a quick check-in. Lauren, I know you are. Brooke?
Yes, I am.
Familiar, okay. So you're currently studying it?
I was taking a Course in Miracle classes for a while.
Okay. So then you'll be familiar. I'll just skip through this. It's a text that's got about 670 pages, which is the theory, the principles, and the philosophy. There's the workbook, which is a bit shorter, made up of 365 daily lessons that are designed to systematically train your mind in how to let go of its negativity and allow you to live in what's called a miraculous state of mind. So those are the 2 major components, but then there's also a manual for teachers, which is 90-odd pages. It's got additional guidance and clarification of terms in a Q&A format, which is quite helpful, and we work through that as well in the course of the program. So how it came was transmitted to his American professor of psychology in New York City, and Jan Schachman, between 1965 and 1972, as a result of an invitation, really. Her and her boss, a guy called William Thetford, were going to a disciplinary hearing in the spring of 1965, and he just turned to her and said, "This is crazy. There must be a better way than this. There's all this fighting and backstabbing going on in this department of psychology in New York." And he just knew intuitively there must be a better way. And so she turned to him and said, "Yes, I agree, there must be, and I'll help you find it." So in that was a meeting of minds. In that was the Holy Spirit joining in those two minds and saying, okay, well, I'll help you. And so very soon afterwards, she began to have some vivid dreams, and a couple of months later, his voice started speaking to her one night and said, "This is the Course in Miracles, please take note." And she phoned Bill and said, "What do you think I should do?" And he said, "Well, take notes." And that's how it started. That's how the scribing started. She took her notes into Bill the next day and said, "No disrespect, Alan, but this isn't from you." She says, "Yes, I know." It freaked her out. But it was like a dictation. She just received like a download, and then she just wrote it down. So she called herself not a channel or a medium, but she called herself a scribe. She was a scribe. Jesus would just give her the words, and then she just write them down. So it's also a systematic mind training course to teach you a radically different way of thinking about and perceiving everything from a non-dual perspective. So taking the idea of oneness, which is non-dual, not two, and you perceive everything from the perspective of oneness, whatever it happens to be. Separated, seemingly separate person, what someone's doing, what someone's saying, what other groups of people are doing, all perceived differently from the idea of oneness. And that really is what the mind training is about. So learning how to train your mind to see only oneness, even while your body's eyes see separation everywhere. It's also designed to teach you how to forgive or let go of every false and therefore negative belief, thought, and emotion that causes you and others to suffer. So how do you actually forgive, or in my terminology, let go? They mean the same thing, of these false beliefs and emotions that cause you to suffer. That's really what the course is about, training your mind to do. And finally, it's a spiritual path. It will allow you to live happily, peacefully, and lovingly. All of that core.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we live happily, peacefully, and lovingly, and we stay in the state of flow, which is another word for miracles. When you're in a state of miracle-mindedness, it's I use the word flow. Ultimately, this is designed to help you to escape the world entirely. So it's about being in flow while you're here, but it's set at the level of helping you to escape the dream. There's some well-known students and teachers of the course. There's Marianne Williamson, Nelson Mandela. So Nelson quoted from Marianne's book called A Return to Love, which is her reflections on A Course in Miracles when he came out of prison. Said our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. Our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. I'll share the rest of the quote at the end of the presentation. It's a lovely quote, my favorite quote. So Nelson was influenced by Oprah. Oprah Winfrey was. She's friends with Marianne. Marianne's kind of a guru, so she's been studying the course for a while. Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer in his latter years, got into the course. Eckhart Tolle, I've seen some videos where he's actually quoting from A Course in Miracles. And I'm not nearly as famous as the others, and I probably never will be, but I thought it's a good opportunity to just introduce myself, seeing as I didn't do that. So, who am I? I'm not going to talk about the ultimate level of that, but it's just the level of what my life experience has been so far. So that's me when I was in my late teens. I was a pretty good squash player, and I decided that I wanted to turn professional after I went to university. for 4 years, and then decided that I wanted to give this a go. And because I had this dream that egoic dream, I now realized, to be the champion, world champion. And I was prepared to go for it. And so that actually led me to, I guess, my first major letting go experience in my late 20s. I had to come to terms with the fact that I was not going to be a world champion. It just wasn't going to happen. In fact, I'd failed dismally. In hindsight, I'm actually very grateful, because it helped me to let go of a lot of ego investment in that particular sport. And really, I was doing it because I wanted to beat my ego up. I didn't realize it at the time. So that was also a major letting go experience in a young stage of my life, which really opened me up to doing what I'm now doing. I started having played professional squash. I learned to meditate. When I was in the UK, I learned Transcendental meditation, trying to improve my squash. But little did I know, if you start meditating, then other things happen. It's not just about improving your physical performance. It really started to change my mind. And combined with the letting go experience, I found that I was just opening up to spirituality in a way I've never had. I was getting curious about, well, what is life really all about? And what do these various spiritual paths say? So I got very interested in finding out. I was like, well, what does Buddhism say? What does Taoism say? What do these various paths say? And started this journey of exploration, which I read as many books as I possibly could. Up till that point, I'd really done personal growth. So I'd done Tony Robbins and Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, what the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. But when I got to that stage in my life where I'd done all of that and it failed, and I'd really believed, and yet I failed, it really caused me to back up and say, okay, well, maybe there's something else. Maybe I'm missing something here. And that was another kind of key catalyst for opening up to something more spiritual. Then I started reading books like The Power of Now, and was meditating. I started teaching this in about 2004. Started doing 2005, a series of workshops around the country and in South Africa, and established this little business called Life Build, where I'd run workshops, seminars. We did some fun stuff like dolphin swimming in Mozambique. That's in Mozambique, running a workshop there. So did a lot of this, and then about 7 years ago, 2013, I felt like I needed a change. It was like, okay, well, I've been doing this for now nearly a decade, and although I enjoy it, it's like, what am I going to still be doing the same thing in 10 years' time if I keep doing this? Because I couldn't really figure out a way to break out of that, just doing small events. So a friend of mine invited me over to London to come and help me raise some capital. I thought, well, okay, maybe it's not really about the capital raising. Maybe this is going to do something else, and it surely did. I met my wife, as you can see her, Deborah, there in the photo. She wasn't my wife then, but we subsequently got engaged and married. And I moved countries. I've changed my life about 5 years ago, completely 6 years. I went to the UK. I had to give up the Life Build business. I started a new career. I carried on teaching. That's me teaching breathwork in Shaftesbury in North Dorset. That's me in corporate mode. So I started a corporate finance business. That didn't go so well initially. So then I started selling card payment solutions in the UK. And I was trying to do a number of things, selling finance, card payment solutions, coffee. And about 3 years ago, 2018, Lauren, when you did the first Art of Letting Go course, I just kind of got to a point where I was like, okay, I've lost my way here, but I feel like a bit disconnected from spirit, feel like I'm just running around like a headless chicken, chasing scraps of money, and everything I know. I mean, I carried on practicing A Course in Miracles, which I got into in 2005, but I'm not really applying it, and I'm not teaching it. So I felt this call to teach it, and that's why I decided to start the Art of Letting Go course and run it and see what happened. And the first one was pretty successful. It was a beta test, and so I decided, okay, well, I need to develop it. And I've spent a lot of time over the last 3 years developing this course to a point where I'm reasonably happy with it now. And next year is going to be the first full year. So it's not just a 6-week course, it's a full 1-year program, which walks people through A Course in Miracles. Recently I did I continue learning and growing myself. So I'm always a student first, teacher second. I did a 10-day silent retreat in Worcester in South Africa, doing a Vipassana meditation technique. Had some really profound experiences, great moments of Satori, and I'm hoping to go back to the UK, but it's been somewhat difficult over the last couple of years. So my challenge at the moment, I'm separated from my wife and son. I'm trying to get back there, and I can't yet. But hopefully in January, that's going to change. So that's just a little summary of me and the course. So we did a bit of a digression there, but coming full circle back to Phil, who said that he had a major breakthrough in the last day of the Art of Letting Go course after the holotropic breathing session. He wrote me this note where he just explained what had happened. So he did the breathing again the next morning. We did it on Friday night, and he had an epiphany. It's just like something broke through, and this issue that he had with his parents, particularly his mother, where somehow he felt that she wasn't good enough for him, even though she was a really intelligent, bright, and they were very decent, respectable people. Somehow he thought that they weren't good enough, and he'd been holding this sort of grievance for his entire life. He was 80 then, and he realized just how unfair, grateful he'd been, and so he broke down, he cried, and he was able to forgive himself and ask his parents for their forgiveness. And carrying this baggage around all my life had a huge cost. So there was a real breakthrough experience from there, which led him to experience much more happiness. So another key benefit number 2 is fulfilling flow in your daily life. So this is about knowing how to remain poised and enjoy the moment while taking positive, harmonious action to respond to any situation effectively. So my own kind of case study in this, when I was a young squash player, it was my first sort of 6 months of being a professional. I just quit university, and in my mind, I thought that I should be winning. I should be beating anyone who was not a professional. And that was my thought. And truth be told, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to. It takes time and a lot of training to raise your level. So it's about 6 months into my professional career. I was due to play another chap in my club. I was playing for a club in Johannesburg, and he was an older player. He was in his 30s, late 30s at the time. He'd been in the top 10 in the country, but he was no longer there. And I'd lost to him earlier that season in the club champs. So I was now playing him in the league. And I just felt a lot of pressure. I put myself under a lot of pressure because everyone was going to be watching, and I didn't want to lose, and very attached to the outcome. And so I'm stressing away the whole day. It was an evening match. So sort of late afternoon, I'm like, okay, well, I've got to do something. So I went for a walk. and just had a chat to my sister, and it was a nice day. And, well, why don't you just kind of relax and, and let go and enjoy it? I mean, that's why you started playing the game in the first place. And, the wisdom of that did make sense to me. So somehow I managed to just blank my mind, and just really let go of all desire to win, thoughts about the outcome, thoughts about how I was going to play, my strategy. And I went on there in this really just empty state. I wasn't thinking at all. And it was pretty amazing what happened. And this quote by Eckhart Tolle really explains it quite well. It says, artistic creation in any field, sports, dance, teaching, counseling, any field of endeavor, implies that thinking mind is either no longer involved at all, or at least is taking second place. Power and intelligence greater than you, and yet one with you in essence takes over. There is no decision-making process anymore. Spontaneous right action just happens, and you are not doing it. And I really absolutely had that experience. I wasn't playing that match. I was being played. It happened through me, and I just went along for the ride and observed it. It's the most amazing, one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And I really felt, I wasn't in control. It just happened. But it happened beautifully. I was playing amazing squash, and I won very easily. But it really wasn't about the winning. It was about the experience of it. I became aligned with this greater consciousness, which just did it for me. It acted and did the work for me. It was absolutely effortless. I didn't get tired. It was really a blissful experience even. So having done that and overcome the pretty intense fear, broken through to another level, I got very curious. I was like, okay, so what is this? What have I tapped in? And I started reading about it. And you start reading about the flow state and how many athletes have experienced it. And then I started connecting the dots as I got more into spirituality. Started realizing that flow state was really just what they're talking about in a lot of these teachings. It just happened to me in the squash court. So that was my flow experience, and that really has profoundly changed my life. I think I possibly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if I hadn't had that experience. Key benefit number 3 is the sense of higher purpose. So you'll start experiencing more happiness and flow in every aspect of your life, and finding higher purpose and meaning in all your daily activities. So on the foundation of happiness and flow in every aspect of your life, you can find higher purpose and meaning. And it's so simple. The higher purpose and the meaning is to be happy and in flow in all your daily activities, to simply stay in that state. You don't need to look to some kind of external accomplishment. If you're happy and you're in flow, quite likely that you will accomplish things. Things flow from that state. It's a powerful state, but it's not saying, well, I need this to happen. I need something external to me to happen in order to be happy and in flow, because that would be external searching. That's a form of mental illness, and that's never going to work. That's the desire of the Buddha to talk to that, which is the source of all suffering. So the sense of higher purpose just flowing was experienced very strongly by Vim. He was also on the course that you did, I don't know if you remember. So during about 2 weeks into the course, he shared this on the Facebook group, his experience of playing a tennis match. It was just a social match, but as he describes here, he got very upset because he wanted to win, and he started playing very badly and losing his temper, and it wasn't a very pleasant experience. And he was just saying, well, I should have remembered to just center myself and breathe. So we discussed it in one of our sessions. I shared this experience on the squash court, my flow experience. I taught him some of the diaphragmatic breathing that I do, which I guided you through the beginning of the session, and he had a very different experience the next week. He played the same guy a week later, same tennis court, and yet this time the outcome was completely different, because he just let go, he relaxed completely, and as he said here, I just centered myself, I breathed, and he played a lot better. He actually won in 3 sets, 3 games. 3 sets, sorry, in tennis. And what he realized was profound, that it wasn't really about the competition and the winning. Like those were just egoic. It was really about the experience. So he was in flow, he really enjoyed it, and he was at peace. And he describes it as, I experienced God's pleasure in me that day. Also learned that I can choose to let go of anger, which doesn't work, and be at peace instead. So he learned something profound about himself. And finally, ecstatic well-being. You start experiencing this happiness and flow in every aspect of your life. And living this extraordinary life gives you and others miraculous experiences and results. So this is an example from second course that I ran. Hazel, she did an exercise we did online, partnered with someone who did this Zoom technologies. You can actually split into breakout groups. So that's what they did. They went and did this exercise 9 in course manual that I gave them to do, and it just absolutely triggered her. She said, well, as you can read, the energy felt like pure love. She's never experienced anything like it before, and she was exhilarated to the point of being wide awake all night. What a stunning experience, which will stay with me for the rest of my life. So literally, I say ecstatic well-being, it can be. You can have moments of ecstasy. And even if it's not as intense, just in your daily life, you can have a moment where you really feel connected and good. There's just these ecstatic moments that then make up this ecstasy that is possible. Okay, and final case study, this is Robin. I'm actually staying in Robin's garden at the moment, in a garden cottage. So she's still very much part of the community, and she did the course, also the first one, and that was her take on it. She was very, very, very satisfied. It did help her to change her life, find more happiness, flow, fulfillment, and purpose in her life. And this was her sort of key takeaway, her feedback on the course. At the end of it, she said, I experienced peace, and now less anxiety, I sleep better, I don't take painkillers anymore, stress headaches, really, she says yes. And she has better relationships with her children, and she's not as frightened or worried. So all in all, a pretty comprehensive transformation in 6 weeks, and that's continued to this day. So this is now, just 3 years on. This was a video she recorded about 9 months after the course stopped, just to show you that it had a long-lasting impact. It wasn't just a course and then she goes back to the way she was before. It really has changed her life. So I'll let Robin tell you her experience for a couple of minutes.
Hi, my name's Robin. I did the course last year with Jonathan. I'd never heard of the course before. It was something entirely different to me, although I've been practicing meditation. I've been going to breathworks for some time, trying genuinely to find peace. I'm a mum, I work, I've got a normal busy life. I've been plagued with headaches, I've been plagued with sore necks and the normal problems that people have. I found that through the course and joining the online community, I found a group of like-minded people all exploring the course. The course is fundamentally different. At first I thought it was all about religion, which it wasn't, although it is about God, and I do believe in God, and it made a great deal of sense in my life that the only thing is really that we concentrate on is God. It's about finding love. It's about being kinder to people. I still listen to the teachings every day. I've found that by listening to the teachings and following the book and reading, I have become more compassionate. I've become a nicer person. I feel less guilty. I feel that the world is a a different place. I don't feel that the world is always a good place. It's not. But I believe that it impacts me less. I used to be traumatized by the world. I used to lie awake and worry about things that are happening and my children and my life, and worry about my past and worry about the future. I've found that I've achieved a sense of peace. And if nothing else, I'm really grateful to Jono and the people I met on the course, because that sense of peace has helped me to heal many parts of my life. I no longer have headaches. I used to suffer with headaches. I used to have terrible neck pain that I was on painkillers on all the time. And honestly, those things have gone away. I don't take painkillers for my neck, and I don't have headaches anymore. My relationships with my children are much better, and my relationship with myself is a lot better. So in all, it's taken a lot of the jagged edges off of life, and it's just made life more bearable. And if you think about it, we're probably going to be here for a long time. So if it continues to get more and more bearable, and as I say, each day I learn a new lesson, and it does make life a little bit different and a little bit better, and I see things a little bit more clearly. And that to me has been the biggest gift of the course.
Okay. So everyone's still with me? All right, so I'm going to just kind of accelerate a little bit. Let's wrap this up, just summarize. So these are the kind of key benefits and the results that you can expect if you do the Art of Letting Go course. Number one, you'll be authentically happy because you'll know how to let go of any negative thoughts or emotions, no matter how challenging the situation, provoking them appears to be, and just choose to be happy instead. That's really the foundation. So it starts with being happy. Then key benefit number two is you'll do your daily activities in a state of flow. So this is happiness translated into action, knowing how to remain poised, and enjoy the moment while taking positive, harmonious action to respond to any situation effectively. And number 3 and 4, you'll experience fulfillment, higher purpose, and well-being. So you can see the sequence is being first, then doing, and then having or experiencing. So this is the authentic. This is the right way to do it. If you do it the wrong way, what people are trying to do is they think they need to have something external in order to do certain things in order to be happy. And that's all the wrong way around. It needs to start with your being. Being leads to doing in flow, and then that leads to an experience that is pretty extraordinary, ordinary, as I call it. It's in every aspect of your life. You're experiencing happiness and flow. You're living what's a meaningful, extraordinary, ordinary life. Doing what you're doing, but you're in an extraordinary state of mind. You're happy and you're in flow, which are extraordinary states of consciousness in today's world, and gives you and others miraculous experiences and results regularly. So it's not just about you, it's also about helping others, making a contribution, and being what we call a miracle worker. So you spread love and light and peace wherever you go, and you become someone who inspires others. And that in turn helps you to feel more inspired. So I'm just going to talk briefly about what's actually in this course in terms of the 7 key spiritual practices I mentioned. So number 1 is meditation. There's a lot of meditation that I recommend you do. First up, I'm going to give you a 1 hour, but there's also 40 minutes and half-hour versions of it. Guided letting go theta meditation. Which will take you into a theta state. It's got some binaural beats embedded into it. So I sell that for £8. There's a power sleep track with also binaural beats to help you sleep at night. You're going to get 2 live guided meditations, Monday to Friday, and 1 on Sunday. So there are 2 live sessions a day where you can just log in and you can join a meditation on Zoom. I'll give you the times.
I have to kind of jump in there on that. The power sleep track, guys, that I still live by that to this day.
Really? Interesting.
Amazing. Yeah.
So you still listen to it every day?
It's on my Apple Music playlist.
Okay.
And I put in my headphones. I don't do it every single night, but when I use it at night, I'm always up and refreshed in the morning. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does work because it changes your brainwave state. It puts you into an alpha state and helps you to slip into a deeper sleep. And I don't know if you do the guided letting go meditation as well, but a lot of people have said, that's something that
it's on here as well. Yeah, I use them.
Yeah. As Martin said, love the second part of it. You said to yourself and smile, very powerful stuff. So one recent study, and there's a lot of research on meditation, but I just wanted to highlight one study done recently, where a group of people meditated with a compassionate intent. So there was meditating on, I'm feeling the love, I'm connecting with people as part of the meditation practice for just half an hour per day over a period of 8 weeks. And they surveyed them. They found that they became less stressed, and they could. There were biochemical markers that confirmed that their cortisol, adrenaline levels had dropped. They became less reactive to other people's negativity and suffering. They were more compassionate towards others and themselves. And there are many, many other studies. Just Google it, and there's loads of research that's been done on meditation and how it lowers your stress levels, boosts your immunity, which is quite pertinent given what's happening in the world with COVID. And interestingly, no one is telling you to meditate, are they? No one's saying, "Oh, well, forget vaccinations. Just meditate and do your breath work, and that's going to boost your immunity." We don't live in a society that looks to these kinds of solutions, and all of this improves your mental health and well-being. So here are some of the comprehensive benefits of meditation. I'll just share quickly. So it lowers your stress levels. You'll find you have more peace of mind, more ability to be poised under pressure. It improves your concentration, improves your clarity, your mental focus. It raises your energy levels. It helps you sleep more deeply, as you've just testified to, Lauren. Increases your productivity and effectiveness, boosts your immune system and general health, enhances your sense of well-being, slows down the aging process. I'm nearly turning 50. I'm turning 49, and I don't look it. And I think a big part of that is because I've done a lot of meditation. I don't look 49. Most of my peers, are graying, aging, and I'm like, and I look 10 years younger. Maybe some people say 20 years younger. Just depending. So definitely slows down the aging process, helps you live longer and feel younger. It's about developing your intuition, creativity as well. So if you can tap in, you can kind of download just creative ideas, just inspired ideas that can really help you in your business, in your life. Improve your ability to let go and forgive others, which is critical. That's really what the Art of Letting Go course is all about. So meditation is a foundational practice to help you do that. Experience more loving, harmonious relationships. It will make you feel happier and more fulfilled, and really continuously guide you to find your flow. Meditation is really a deep state of connection with your source. So you're happy, and that same source that goes with you in flow. So flow is just when you in dynamic action. But if you don't connect with that in meditation, then it's very difficult to stay in a state of flow, in my experience, because I had times when I wasn't able to meditate as much. I was having had the sun, and I found that it definitely affected me. I started being less in flow than normal. So it's a comprehensive meditation program. You get the recordings, you get live guided meditations, and if you can't make the live sessions, you get the recording sent to you immediately via WhatsApp. So you've got that little recording of the session on your phone as a podcast, and you can listen to it whenever you want to. So I put some value to that, valued it in pounds, just based on if I was charging for these things individually. This is what I charge, £67. It's only £1 a recording. The live guided meditations, something like a couple of pounds for an hour. These are commercially, what you would charge individually for these things. Forgiveness or letting go is the second key one. So developed something called a 10-step letting go process, which if you want to hang around at the end of this, I'm happy to guide you through that in a 1 or 20-minute meditation. But there's an instruction and a written worksheet. And again, if you stay till the end, I'll give you those. So those are my gifts to you to thank you for staying. There's 6 other shorter letting go techniques in the Art of Letting Go course manual. As well, it's £6 value. As Chichi said, it makes forgiveness seem so simple. The daily mind training lesson sent via email and WhatsApp. So you get all of that included. You get some breathwork and mind training. So give you audio and video recordings to guide you through 7 powerful breathwork techniques. That's in week 1, and also a written instruction sheet. So there's a little breathwork course as part of that, because the breathwork is foundational to the whole thing. So that's why we spend a bit of time on it specifically. You're going to get 2 audio recorded breath breaks of sort of 3 to 15 minutes each to guide you through practicing the mind training lesson for the day. That's from week 2 onwards. So get these little recordings, which are really pretty short. So idea is to make it very easy to listen to. This is what Nadia had to say. She's one of my subscribers. She's actually done the course as well. She actually got a breath break in the middle of a panic attack, and it helped her stop it. She just stopped her panic attack through it. So it's a powerful way of just reducing anxiety and fear and staying in flow. I remember during the course, Lauren, you shared an experience. I don't know if you want to share it, where you just breathed. I think you were going on a trip or something, and you had some things to do, and you were feeling a bit stressed, and you just kind of breathed your way through it. You said that really helped.
Yeah, I still do that. I still stop. I was out with a friend the other day, and we were in the store, and I started feeling a little stressed, and I stopped, and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Just taking a moment. Give me my moment," and it always brings me back so I can stay clear. Yeah.
So it's a great tool, and just from a health perspective, if you're doing this kind of breath work, it's really, really good for your health. There's been studies done on respiratory muscle training and how that affects things like strength, speed, power, endurance, performance, and so on. So in athletes, but in just in normal population, if you're not trying to improve your athletic performance, it's going to improve your health and well-being. That stands to reason. If it improves athletic performance, it's also going to improve the underlying health and well-being of that person. So it's a great practice. And given what's happening with COVID's a respiratory disease, the best thing you can do is do these kinds of practices to really strengthen your breathing, strengthen your immune system, and build up your inner strength so that you're much more robust and much more resistant to whatever diseases are going around. So, as I said, you'll get daily emails and WhatsApp messages containing this daily mind training lesson with an illustrated photo. So you should have, Lauren, you should have been receiving my my WhatsApp messages now for a while. So every day you get one of those. I'm taking a little break for the next week because I need some time on. But starting January, those will restart. And as part of the course, you get this daily. So like a picture like this with a quote or the daily mind training lesson, and it's there on your phone, and so you can just reference it through the day, bring it up, and it's there. The idea is just there. So there's an example. Discern to see things differently. This is a mind training lesson. Give you a little kind of inspiring picture, and maybe tell me you want to bring this to mind. You just open it up on the phone, and there it is. You get a daily spiritual schedule, recommended practices. So it's pretty comprehensive. Every day, here's your schedule. This is what you can do, and you do what you can on it. I'm giving you the ideal, but it gives you some kind of structure, some kind of idea of, okay, well, in the morning, what should I be doing? During the day, what can I do in the evening? What can I do? And it's all in your schedule. You also get links and attachments to the audio and video recordings. They're included in these emails and the WhatsApp messages. So stack all that value up. And I'm not double counting this because I've already counted the WhatsApp and the email messages. That's another £85 value for those two components. And this is possibly the most important aspect of the program. So these live sessions, live Zoom sessions that we do twice a day, Monday to Friday, once on Sunday, just to meet. So it's about group energy, you're meeting with other people, you're doing the course, connecting with them, and being able to then read and study the material. So it's a study group, and it's just happening online. And it works really well. It takes very little time. You just need an internet connection, and you can log in a few seconds. And this is a great way of connecting and sharing energy. There's 1 or 2 recorded discussion sessions available every day from Monday to Saturday. So apart from the live sessions, which are recorded as a podcast on WhatsApp, there are also recordings that are done from previous sessions as well, which I'll send to you, which are incorporated into the emails and so on. So there's a lot of material. You're probably not going to get through all of it, but it's available should you want it. So again, it's recorded material. I value those of it just a couple of pounds a session, so it comes to $7.80, because there's literally tens of hours per week, about 10 to 12 hours a week of more actually. It's going to be probably 45 minutes to an hour in the afternoon, hour and a half to 2 hours in the evening. So you're looking at maybe 3 hours a day, which is, you can do. You don't have to do all of that. Times, so it's 15 hours plus Sunday sessions. So talking 17, 18, close to 20 hours live sessions a week. So it's very, very comprehensive, and you can really go deep with this if you want to. We'll also read the Course in Miracles. So there's a lesson from the workbook in the morning. I'll send you, it's just a couple of 1 to 2 pages. Section of your text. There's an average of 2 pages. every evening. And you don't have to buy the book. If you have the book already, that's great. But you don't have to buy it because it's all available online, and I just send you the links, so you don't even have to go look it up. You just click on the links in the emails, and you can get all of this stuff. So save you some money on buying the book. Daily emails and WhatsApp messages containing text. The daily lesson with links to audio and video recordings and ideal daily schedule. Those, I've already counted those, so it's all incorporated into those. So WhatsApp and emails are the way that I communicate with you. Include whatever materials in there. Then I recommend that you do some fasting and abstinence. So I'm just putting this quote, this is a guy called John Piper. He said, "The greatest enemy of hunger for God is not poison but apple pie. It's not the banquet of the wicked that dulls our appetite for heaven, but endless nibbling at the table of the world." It's not the X-rated video, but the prime time dribble of triviality we drink in every night. So just talking to very superficial kind of level. We're just watching TV and watching what's going on in the news and entertainment programs. Actually, this is not helping you. It's not helping your spiritual growth. So the idea of fasting and abstinence, it's the pratyahara idea of the yoga, the limbs of yoga, is you're just going to abstain and not do these things. So you decide you're not going to, say, eat for 12 hours a day, and you abstain from anything else that's harmful. So whatever habits you have that you need to change, this is a good opportunity to do that. And so the main thing is, we're not eating for one 24-hour period of every week, ideally, and then 12 to 16 hours every day. So it's called intermittent fasting. Again, it has some profound health benefits, which you can Google. I won't go into them now, but primarily it's just about letting go of some of your attachment to food and realizing that you really don't need to eat as much. And side benefit is it's also good for your health. So you might end up saving quite a bit of money because you're eating less and you're not able to prepare as much food and so on. So things like drinking, smoking, taking recreational drugs, I ask you to stop those because they are going to sabotage the process. If you're using substances to alter your state, those are going to take you away from these deeper states that we're trying to attain in meditation. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot, which you are anyway, because we know that none of these things are good for your health. So any of those kinds of habits, and then just how you pay attention. Watching TV is just a habit. I'll just switch on TV and watch whatever, and avoid news. Just avoid news. Take a news detox, because 99% negative. It's not really helping your state of mind. So you might save £250, maybe more, depending on how much you spend on the other habits. You might save considerably more than that if you're a smoker, or drink alcohol every day. So there's savings to be had through that as well. And then finally, this end of day reflection, which is just asking yourself 4 powerful questions at the end of every day while you listen to the power sleep track. So I've added that a couple of pounds, and then the guided end of day reflection as well, which puts that in. So this is what Fish had to say about the power sleep track. Probably most helpful. You heard Lauren's testimony. So there it is, stacked up. I've just kind of broken that down. If you add all that up and put it into a table, you're looking at over £1,500. I'm not intending to charge you that, just so you know. I'm just showing you that there's some serious value in this course. that it's all available for you. So there's also some tools that I wanted to mention. You get an information and exercise pack, which has got a lot of really helpful, useful tools like the 10-step letting go process, the instruction sheet, and the written worksheet, which allows you to do it in writing. Instructions for 6 shorter letting go processes, quick release, documents to help you understand the theory of letting go better, some worksheets for the name your game and flip your flop exercises. There's going to be a glossary of terms. I haven't included, I need to update this. We've just developed a glossary of terms and a couple of other diagrams, so I keep adding to it. These worksheets will guide you through these exercises in a very powerful way. So what Martin had to say about these extras, and just mentioning his experience where the client put the phone down in his ear and he was able to forgive it and find peace. He found that the name your game exercise was very helpful. The help of the blueprint builder was able to address them. So he calls them little extras, but actually they become an integral part of the course. He did the beta course, and they were part of it, but maybe not as big a part as they are now. Some other transformational mind training exercises. You get 12 pathways to higher consciousness. You get a map of consciousness, help you navigate the levels of your mind. Daily schedule planner, 90 inspirational quotes, healing some programs. There's a lot in there. It's really packed with value. I've already incorporated the 10-step letting go process elsewhere, so I'm not going to double count that. So it's £25 value for the pack. And then in the letting go meditation power pack, you get the guided letting go theta meditation. You can read there what Virginia had to say about it. She said, pretty amazing, really. This was in the days when she was still CDs. It was on a CD. Quite funny to read that. But it's the same recording. I just chopped it a bit and done lesser versions of 40 minutes and 30 minutes, edited it. It's the same essential track as Virginia listened to. She's saying it's just amazing, included, helped her to have flow experiences, wonderful connections, what she's describing there, wonderful connections and meeting with strangers. Just spiritually blessed me and left me in awe as to the way the divine works in the background. That's flow, she's experiencing. Power sleep track that you get, it's just 40 minutes. Robin said very useful. And she could actually hear each heartbeat when she went to bed, which is quite an unusual experience. So it can take you into these kind of extraordinary experiences, mystical experiences, hearing each heartbeat. This kind of work does that. You just never know what's going to happen for you. Okay, so that's the letting go meditation power pack. I charge £10 commercially for that, but it's already factored in, so I'm not going to charge it again. Then you have holotropic breathing, which is literally a mind-blowing experience. I don't exaggerate it. Absolutely transforms your perception. As Joanne said, absolutely loved it. Mind-blowing experience. Not great for days afterwards. Robin went to many areas in her life, so you go into past parts of your life. You can go into the womb, into past life regression. All kinds of things can happen. It's a very profound process. And then there was Phil's breakthrough experience. The whole topic reading was just really the catalyst for that. So you get a 90-minute guided holotropic breathing session, which I would charge £15 for. In the UK, that's what I was charging for an in-person session. You just do it online. You get access to the private Art Letting Go Club Facebook group for 8 months, just to make sure that all the material in the course you can access, and anything else. So you keep in touch with what's going on. And then some free bonuses. Access to about 150 hours of video and audio recordings of meditation and discussion sessions during previous sessions. So there's a whole lot of archive material, which is all available. If you want to go and help yourself and listen to it, download some of it, you can. So I've included that. And Robin still listens to the way to work. She just plugs in, listens to the audio session, finds the negative and stressful thoughts and emotions. Are no longer there. And then finally, there's some audio recordings of high quality meditations based on Course in Miracles workbook lessons. So those are downloadable as well through the Facebook group. And really, I've created a meditation practice that's interwound with the course content that really works really well. So these guided meditations, as Mike said, show me things I wouldn't have picked up before. So there it all stacks up. As you can see, there's a lot of value. It's £2,100, but I'm not proposing that I charge you anything like that. It actually comes to $130. So I'm going to give you a 90% discount. There's an early bird discount if you do something before the end of the year. There's a 3-week free trial discount, and early bird special valid until the end of this year is £97 or $130. If you decide to do it next year, that's fine. It just goes up by 70 early bird discounts, not applicable. So it's about $23 extra. So if you want to do it, you might maybe take advantage of it this year. That's over 95% discount. It's a value. So just to talk about the logistics of the course, it's going to be from Sunday the 23rd of January to Sunday the 6th of March. Those are the proposed dates. So you're going to do these live online meditation and discussion sessions from Monday to Friday, starting at 6:30 a.m. It's the first session. That's Central Time. You should remember that. I remember you joining blurry-eyed a few times in the mornings. So you can join the morning session, but if you can't make the morning, then you can join the afternoon session, which is a more respectable time, 12:30 your time, which for you, Katie, is
yeah, I know it already. I mean, I joined enough time
in Germany. The weekday sessions will last maybe 45 minutes to an hour. The first session, and the evening 90 minutes to 2 hours each. So there's up to 3 hours of live sessions every day, Monday to Friday, as well as on weekends. We'll do a couple of hours on a Sunday, and starting at in the evenings.
Okay.
Same times. There's only one session on a Sunday. And then just to mention, there's a whole program. So the course, when I did it 3 years ago, Lauren, it was just a beta, and I didn't really have a follow-up program. But I've spent the last 3 years developing that, and so there's a lot of material. It's really a 1-year program, a 1-year course. So after the 6 weeks, if you want to continue, you can, and you're going to get all of this value. Live online meditations almost every day, live online discussion sessions as well, recorded meditations, breath breaks and discussions, And you see, I just value them at like fairly reasonable, £10 for a live session. It's kind of the going rate for live meditations, and the rest, it's just £1. It's kind of quite nominal, but obviously, because I'm doing so many hours, it stacks up.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get access to the Facebook group. So that's for the whole year then. All the archive material. And really what I've done is I put it all into an email stream, WhatsApp stream, all the materials in there. So all you got to do is open the email, click in the links, and then you access the content that way. And each day has its own material. So each day has a discussion, recorded discussion, and a meditation that's included. So there's a lot of material. You get the daily WhatsApp messages and email. So this is a 1-year transformation process, really. If you just want to do the 6-week course, that's great, and it has a value in itself. But if you really want to do a deep dive into this, very profound book, as you said, you've had it for 10 years, but you haven't really gone into it, then I'd recommend doing the whole 1 year, because that's what it is. It's working through the entire text and the workbook and the manual for teachers and everything. Okay, so there's just a summary. So that's £297, $397 until the 31st of December. So again, you get a discount if you act on this before the end of the year. This brings me just to kind of some potential roadblocks. Just consider why you may not want to do this, because there's always going to be reasons, and address those. So the first thing is you might say, I don't have the time. So it's a very common excuse, really, why people say they want to do something like this. So there's a couple of solutions, a couple of ways around that. First of all, as part of your abstinence practice, just don't watch TV. So I'm just not going to spend any time watching TV, because it's an absolute time killer. So you go to bed an hour earlier, get up an hour earlier to meditate in the morning. Much better use of your time, so that can free up an hour for your meditation in the morning. And it's really about integrating these key spiritual practices into your daily routine to make you more effective and productive. So about taking breath breaks, you need a break from work, listening to discussion sessions while you're doing other activities such as driving, eating, cooking, and walking. And just using your time as productively as possible. And again, you can save time on meals. You do a 16-hour fast every day. You're not eating as much, and you're not preparing food as much. Your food preparation is a big part of your day. So that's the first one, and you can overcome that. If you can put in an hour or two a day into this, you'll get benefit from it. If you could say, I've only got 5 minutes a day, well, what can you do in 5 minutes? I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. But if you can put in an hour or two a day into this, you'll get some serious benefit. And it's very doable on most people's schedules. It's very doable. You just got to reprioritize and focus on what's important. So another thing that you might say is, I'm not ready for this. So if you're over 30, that's just an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for your own happiness, flow, fulfillment, purpose, and true success. Right? Before 30, I know, Katie, you're in your 20s, and that's great that you come to the course. But a lot of people are, you probably know, a lot of your peers, they're not into the course, they're not particularly spiritual, they, doing what people do at that age. They're partying, they're trying to have a good time, they're trying to find a mate, they're trying to build a career, these kinds of things. And often it just takes a little bit of maturity. And so as we start aging, we start questioning this and start saying, well, what is it really all about then? And once I get into my 30s, maybe the values of my 20s no longer really serve me. So sometimes you just need to wait for that process to happen, and that starts happening in sort of your midlife. But there is no need to wait. So waiting is just really an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for your own happiness, flow, fulfillment, purpose, and success. And the truth is, no one is going to do those for you. It's up to you. I think we all know that. Your life isn't going to last forever, and 30 years go by very quickly. I have a member of my family who's been trying to write a book for 30 years, I kid you not. She still hasn't done it. And it's just extraordinary. I go, well, when she started to write this, she was young, and now she's, advancing into middle age, and 3 decades have gone by. Just like that. And just because she just wasn't doing anything, taking any positive action. And if you, I'm not sure if you're ready, we'll give you all the tools and the support that you need to do this. So you're not alone. There's a lot of guidance, a lot of hand-holding, so that all your questions are answered. It's live sessions daily, so you can log in and do a check-in there and ask whatever's arising. You might also be saying, well, I'm not quite ready spiritually, and Jesus says in the Course in Miracles introduction that this is a Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. So it's required. You are going to take this course whether you like it or not. Just the time might not be right for you now. But why not? If not now, then when? If it's a matter of choice, then when are you going to choose to do this? And although it's Christian in statement, of course deals with universal spiritual themes, it's just one version of the universal curriculum. There are many others, this one differing from them only in form. They all lead to God in the end. So what I like about this teaching is he's not saying it's exclusive. There's many paths, there's many ways. What he is saying is, no, practice this way, which I've given you, because it's a particularly good way and it's a quick way, and it's going to save you time and needless suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And it all leads to God in the end. Then finally, you might say, look, I can't afford this financially. So first of all, I'd say, look, it's your happiness, it's your flow, fulfillment, purpose, well-being in life. No one's going to do this for you. And if you can't invest, what really is not a lot. I've tried to make this course as affordable as possible, so that I'm not excluding people because of the money. If you don't invest in yourself, your capital self, and your life, you're really saying that you are not worth it. That's the fundamental message you're giving yourself, which of course is the whole problem. We actually don't think we're worthy, and that's one of the reasons why we do courses like this, is to convince ourselves that we are worthy. So don't devalue yourself in this way. Remember that action is the most powerful form of affirmation. So when you act on something, you affirm its truth. You affirm that it is true for you. And so paying the course, what you're really doing is you're telling yourself that you're worthy. And then you commit to it. And I've seen it many times, because I do offer a free trial as well for 3 weeks. So you don't have to pay up front. But the people who do, and they commit to it then, are the people who get the value from the course, because they committed to it. And so they turn up to more sessions, and they participate. If you don't pay for it, then, well, I'm losing nothing, so I just won't show up. So it's part of your own commitment, saying, yeah, I'm going to do this. And that's all an essential part of the transformation process, and ensures that you value and you pay attention to what you're learning. So the money side of it is just part of the whole design of the transformation. So I mentioned the free trial. It tells you it's a 3-week free trial or a money-back guarantee in the first 3 weeks of the course or 1-year program. So you want to jump into this starting January the 23rd. You can do a 3-week free trial, no problem. And then at the end of that, decide, yes, I'm in. I'd like to complete the course, in which case.
We here with you.
Yeah. So the 3-week free trial is one option, and the money back guarantee is another one. So if you decide to pay, then within the first 3 weeks, for whatever reason, you decide it's not for you, you're going to drop out, I'll give you your money back. So whichever way you want to do it, I recommend doing the money back guarantee because I think you'll commit more. But I'll leave that up to you. I don't know what your financial position is like, affordability, etc. So there's no reason not to do this and give this a try for 3 weeks. If you decide you'd rather not continue, as I said, I've only done that once. Gave someone a full refund because honestly, she didn't want a facilitator guided process. She wanted to self-study the course. Okay, well, if you wanted to self-study it, you don't want guidance, then yeah, don't join the course. But most people seem to benefit from and want guidance because it's not the easiest material to study on your own, as you'll probably both of you will be aware. And if you'd rather not pay anything up front, let's say you can do the first 3 weeks free, and I give you a whole lot of value for that. So there's the Letting Go Meditation Power Pack, there's the course manual, there's 3 months access to the Facebook group, all of which has over £100 value. That's all free. And if you don't carry on, then it's no hard feelings. You tried it didn't work for you. Keep the tools. Because really, my intention is that you get into this, and this becomes part of your life and part of your daily spiritual practice. And it's just woven into the fabric of your life to really help you to practice and to manage your mind and let go of negativity as it arises. You can also do the solo version of the course, so that means that you're not engaging in the live sessions, just one live session a week, and just kind of flying solo, which is a possibility. I recommend spending the extra money and going the whole way, but depending on budget constraints, you might want to do that. And you'll still get the 2-hour, possibly longer, maybe a little bit longer, 2-hour live meditation and discussion session every Sunday. So in a lot of courses, that's what you get. You get 1 live session a week. So you're getting that. But the value of doing live sessions every day is you can really immerse yourself into this, and you go deeper than you can in a weekly one, much deeper. You start to really connect with people. So there's a price to that. It's £67 or $89. So something's valued at 1421. So that's a 94% discount to value. So there's the value of it. Less discount, less the early bird discounts. Goes to 67. So just to conclude, I'd say, can you afford not to do this? Really, this is it's your happiness, it's your flow, it's your success, it's your life, really. And if you're not going to invest in it, then you're not really valuing yourself. And so I've quoted figures, there's money put to it because honestly, I have to charge for this. I spend so much time doing it. It takes up most of my day. But really, this is priceless. These things are not something you can really put a price tag to. So yes, money is an enabler. It's a facilitator of an experience that is priceless. And that is what I can promise through the Art of Letting Go course and this whole program, if you choose to continue, that these priceless qualities, happiness, flow, sense of higher purpose, well-being, and the ability to just thrive.
Wonderful. Hey, Jono.
Okay, so I promised to just share a couple of quotes. So this is Yuval Noah Harari, really just saying that education is changing, and the most valuable thing that you can do is to train your mind, to become more flexible. So he said you should invest in things like emotional intelligence, being able to stay mentally balanced, your ability to keep changing and learning and reinventing yourself throughout your life. And that, just from a career point of view is very valuable. So these kinds of qualities are very valuable in any career, apart from your personal life and your personal happiness. This is investing in your ability to be flexible, to be dynamic. And I think we're going into an era that's unprecedented in history, with artificial intelligence and so on, that I think human beings are being to demands that really they just previously and previous didn't have. And then I'll just leave you with this quote. So our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. It's from Marianne Williamson's book. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Is our light not our darkness that most frightens us? We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, and constantly give other people permission to do the same, as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates us.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote
That's
too.
not even my favorite quote of all time. I think I read it every day. I know it by heart. It's an amazing quote, and I think it's more pertinent than ever in today's world and times. We've been called upon to do this, not just for ourselves and our own awakening, but for everyone else, for humanity. It's a time of fear. There are many people in a lot of fear, and it requires miracle workers, light workers, to free them from that fear, to show them that there's another way. And that's the call. So if you heard the call tonight, which I hope you did, then join me. Join me on the course, which starts on the 23rd. So there's just a breakdown of some of those options. I would recommend you go for the Mastery course, which is £97 or $130. Katie, that's about 120, 115 euros, something like that. Because that gives you the full experience. If you really want to go into the full experience, then there's 7 hours of one-to-one sessions as well, but that takes it up into the sort of $400, £294, $394 mark. So there's great value there. You get there's a lot of material. There's a lot of live sessions to really help you do this transformation process and hopefully establish yourself on a new spiritual path. And then you continue on. Said after the 6 weeks, if you want to go with the whole program, then you can. And sign up for a year, or just go month to month to work your way through the entire Course in Miracles. So you can see there's a lot of value. I've given lots of discounts, ideas to make this as affordable as possible. It's not UK time tonight, I'm going to give you until, given at Christmas and stuff, I'm going to give you until the end of the year to decide and still get the discounts. So just to leave it here, you've probably all seen The Matrix. That's a scene from The Matrix at the beginning where Trinity comes on his computer and says, "Follow the white rabbit." And his friend knocks on the door, and there's a woman with him that's got a white rabbit on her shoulder. And really, this is the invitation, right? This is the invitation. Follow the white rabbit. Will you follow me down the rabbit hole of your own mind to find your true self? That's really the invitation. And if you feel the call, then join me next month for this pretty life-changing course. So it all starts with a single step, as Lao Tzu famously said. Every 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So this is how you register. Just go to joinvaolg.club to book and pay for it anytime before the 31st. You can do it, and you'll get the discounts. I'll send this link to you in WhatsApp, so you have it. There's quite a lot of extra information on there that I've put, so you can go and peruse that. There's videos. I'll post the recording of the Masterclass session on there shortly, so it's available to watch again, and you can go into any places that you want any guidance on, and feel free to ask me any questions.
I have one.
No. Any questions?
If when I got it right, there's the 1-year program, and then there are different options for the AOLG course. Is that right?
Yeah. So the 1-year program is, if you decide to commit to that up front, it's £297. It's a discounted amount. For 1 year of, you can do sessions twice a day. I'll try to make it very reasonable. Or you can just go for the course. Say, okay, well, I'll just dive in and do the course, and that's a 6-week program. And then at the end of the course, if you want to continue and do the full year, then you can decide then.
Or I do both.
I
do both.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the course is really the start of the 1-year program, right? So it's the lead-in. It's the first 6 weeks of the 1-year program, but I've designed it as a standalone course. So it has a process to it. It's got various material, and it has value in itself. If you just do the 6 weeks and you didn't continue with the whole year, you're going to get benefit. It's a transformational course. But it's also an introduction to the 1-year program. It's the start of the 1-year program. So if you like the course process and you want to continue, then do the full year, which is a deep dive really into A Course in Miracles. We go very deeply into the text, into the workbook. You've done a couple of sessions already, Katie, so you kind of get an idea, and we work through this systematically during the course of the year. So you're most welcome. You want to dive into the whole thing, you're convinced, it's £297. Again, I'll give you a money-back guarantee in the first 3 weeks. If for whatever reason you change your mind, you get your money back. But that kind of locks in. There's a significant discount on it if you do that. Or you can just say, well, I'll commit to the course for 6 weeks, and then see how it goes after the 6 weeks.
So it sounded like Katie was saying you could pay for them both at the same time, correct?
Yeah. So £297, £297, which is about $397. gets you 1 year upfront, then you're done.
Oh, so you don't have to do 6 weeks separately. Oh, okay. Got it.
So if I do the 1 year course, I thought I have to pay for them both different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just if you wanted the 6 weeks because you wasn't sure, and then you want to continue, then you have to pay for the 1 year. But if you want to, you want to do the 1 year now, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Dive in. Katie, in your case, you're into a course, you've already done some sessions with me. If you're convinced that there's value and you'd like to do this, then, dive in. And I'm giving you an incentive to do that. And honestly, this is way underpriced. I should be charging more. I know that.
Yeah, I know. I also thought that.
I should be, but the problem is if I charge, I don't know, if I said it's $1,000, people are going to go, a lot of people are going to go, that's too, I'd like to do it, but that's too much. My budget doesn't allow it. So I priced it at a level where, this is affordable, and you don't have to do it up front, you can pay monthly. The monthly cost, once you finish the 6-week course, is about $35 a month, 26 pounds a month, because that's then doable. I'd rather have people doing it continually than going, okay, well, I'll price this thing at $50 or $100, and then you know what? Guess what? In 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months, people drop off because they'll say, well, I can't afford it anymore. So it's about building a sustainable community that, if you like this can become an ongoing part of your life. You subscribe every month, you join these sessions, it becomes part of your daily spiritual practice, and I just grow it. There's room on the Zoom calls for 100 people. And I can upgrade it from there. If I've got 100 people, I could do 1,000 people. I'd rather price it really affordably and have you do it and make it sustainable than price at a level where, maybe, the value's there, it's justified. There's hours and hours and hours of material, and it takes a lot of my time, but it's just in this market, I just don't think pricing it at, say, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 for a year, it's reasonable, it's not over the top, but I'm not sure many people would do it and then stick with it. So yeah, and also it's my service to people, like how I do other things to make money. I've got other businesses, so it's like I'd rather price this at a low level and allow anyone to do it. If you've got some basic level of income, you can probably do this. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Katie.
Yeah, just make that clear. The 6 weeks are in the 1 year course, so I can just go over, just buy it for 1 year because I can afford it totally.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so £297. It just gets you in, and then you've got the entire year, and you can join any. I'm doing sessions twice a day. You can join any of those sessions. You're a full member.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah. Dive in. You can afford it. Just go to that link, and there's an option to do it on there. I think you can do. Let's just check. Have I put 1 year on there? I think I have. Let me just dive into that, and I'll show you the web page.
Yes.
So if you go to this website, join the AOLG.club will take you there. You can read more about it. Maybe you don't need to. You're convinced already. So then just scroll down to the bottom, and you can do your thing. Let's see. Or you can just go for the course. I'm trying to scroll down there to the page now, it might be quicker. So there's quite a bit of information on here, as you can see. Background information, some stuff I haven't included. Okay, there we go. So,
I can call you Jono.
you can call me Jono, indeed, most people do. So
Okay.
let's have a look. There's it's just a form, fill it in. Right, so 90, okay. So if you want to do the upfront for the year, I will just add that as an option. So I haven't added. So give me a few minutes, and I'll add it as an option, and then you can go and you'll see it. It'll say $297 for 1 year.
Yeah, I take your time. I will do it maybe, yeah, maybe in 8 or 9 hours. So it's not, you don't
Yeah.
have to do it right now. Put that option on.
Well, I'm traveling, so if I don't do it now, then I'm going to Christmas Eve.
Okay.
It won't take me very long.
Okay.
Just take me about 5 minutes to do. Just add in an option, and then it will reflect there. So if you just go and you select the option that you want, you fill in the billing information, credit card details. If you want to do, Katie, if you want to do an immersion version of the course, there's this option as well. So that gives you, for an extra £197, it gives you 7 hours of one-to-one sessions with me.
Oh, I think, yeah, I can do that. And can I pay via PayPal?
You could actually. You can pay me directly into my PayPal account. I don't do PayPal on here. This is Stripe. This is just working with a debit or credit card. But if you want to do a PayPal to me, then you can pay me directly to my PayPal account, and I'll just give you
Yeah,
the
that would be
Is that good?
be good.
Okay. So
I don't have a
just
debit
so
card.
to clarify, do you want to do the whole year? So that's £297, and then
Yeah, I want to do that.
you want to do what I call the immersion version of the course, which is 7 hours of one-to-one coaching. So 1 hour a week during the first 6.
I would take that.
Yeah, you want to do that as well? Katie?
Yeah. Yes.
You'd like to do the?
Yeah, I said yes. Yes.
Okay, so it'll be $297 plus $197, which is what's my maths? That's about £500, just under 500. I'll send you a WhatsApp with the amount and my PayPal details.
Okay.
And yeah, just do it whenever you can. Fantastic. Look forward to having you on board, and it'll be great to. At the moment, Sue and John are the kind of stalwarts. They join every day. It'll be great to have you on board, joining as well. Just adds another dynamic to the thing. And Lauren, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna make my payments later. I'm not gonna do it this morning, but tonight, but in the morning.
Yeah, no,
Kind of same as Katie.
getting late for you there now. It's early morning. Yeah. So do you want to just do the? Are you just going to do the 6-week course to start with?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole thing.
You do the whole thing. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Okay, so I will add this for you. Unless you want to pay me via PayPal as well, I don't mind. You can do that.
I can do it with Stripe. It's fine.
Yeah. So just credit card, stick it in. Do you want to do the immersion version of the course as well, which gives you some one-to-one?
I know I don't have the hours.
Not an extra. Okay.
I don't have the hours, yeah.
Because you're working. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's all good. Excellent. Once you've done those payments, what I'm doing for the next month is really focusing in on, well, I'm resting for a week, but from the 1st of January, I'll be running these masterclasses 3 times. And Laura, I'm quite happy to run another one. Some of your people came and then they dropped off. So I'm happy to run another one at another time, like at a time that's convenient, like this for them. So talk to them and see what their feedback is, because they would have got a taste of it, but I mean, they didn't get the whole picture. So they're probably not going to sign up. They can go and they can listen to the recording of this.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I already shared it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, and I'll post it to this page. So if you send them the link to this page, well, I'll do that as well. Then they can see it. But honestly, generally the live session is where it happens. People don't make the decision in live, then they're probably not going to make the decision. Very few people sign up as a result of watching a video. So I'm happy to run another session.
Yeah, definitely.
And see if you can set that up sometime in the next week. I'm available, or in January.
Okay. We'll probably do it in January, because in the next couple of weeks I got a lot to do. So
sure. Yeah. Okay. And then the course starts on the 23rd of January.
Yeah, we could do it early January.
Yeah. So in the first 3 weeks, help me if you know anyone who might be interested in this. You refer them. I'm happy to give a referral fee. There's no problem with that, which then helps you, because your testimonial is the best marketing for this. You saying, "Wow, this is amazing. This is really good." Speaking to your friends is the convincing them of someone to do this, and then you invite them to the masterclass. I do the thing, and they say yes. Well, and it's in perpetuity as well. So if they join and they're ongoing members, let's say they join monthly or they pay upfront for a year and then they continue, then that's in perpetuity. I'll give it to you. So the idea is to try and build a sustainable community out of this, that attract people like yourselves who really want to study this, you want to dive deeply into this and really immerse yourself in it, and it becomes a part of your life. It's not just I'm doing a course and then it's over. It's like, no, this is part of my daily life, and these sessions are happening all the time, and it's accessible all the time. So you can jump in whenever you want. You've got all the material, and you use it as you want. And honestly, I don't think there is another program out there like this that does it to this level. There's other Course in Miracles programs for sure. They typically, maybe you do 1 live session a week and then some emails. I don't know anyone who's doing every day, twice a day. But if you want to do it properly, it's taken me 3 years to kind of iterate this and work it out. To do it properly, you need 2 live sessions a day, because every day you've got a workbook lesson and you've got a text reading. And if you're going to do those together, it's going to take like 4 hours. I mean, Katie, that session we did earlier was 4 hours, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you've got to, if you're going to do it properly and really working through it in a systematic way, reading each paragraph, discussing it, meditating on the lesson, it's going to take you that length of time. So then you need to split it really into 2 sessions. So we split it into an afternoon, which is the focusing on the workbook, and then the evening, which is the text.
I just don't know how I will do it when I start it by August. My the practical training for being occupational therapist. I think then I can only watch the recordings of the of 2 sessions, because
you'll get the recordings immediately via podcast. So I send them on WhatsApp. So you could be working, driving, and just listen. That's better than nothing, listening in. And it's fresh material, every day. It's just coming down hours of material every day, which you can just listen to on your phone. So that's better than nothing. Maybe you can join some of the live sessions, like during the afternoons or something. maybe you can squeeze it into your schedule, even if it's just for the meditation. So we do a meditation to start with. You could join and then say, okay, well, I'll just do 20 minutes. I'll do the meditation and then I'll go.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of, you're doing it to whatever level you can do it. Okay, so any other questions? Katie?
When I was joining the meditation, sometimes the audio is it gets too how to say, the volume is not high enough for me to listen, and then it's hard to follow.
Okay, because I'm speaking too softly.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Is I go into a deep meditative state when I'm guiding them. I'm like, I can meditate while I speak. It's what I've learned to do. So
That's a good thing. I want you
yes,
to be in that state.
it does mean like what I'd suggest. I mean, I'll try and be conscious of it, but sometimes I'm just dropping into a state. So you get some speakers or headphones
Yeah, I thought about that.
and just amplify the volume. So either put the volume right way up, or listen with headphones, because that'll
I
make it
thought.
more immediate. If you get good quality, I'd recommend the surround sound ones, not the mobile phone ones, but the earmuff ones that cover your ear for meditation, and then just plug in, and then it'll come through. It will come through louder, and just you can in the meditation just say, Jono, will you speak a bit louder? I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jono, please speak a bit louder. That'll just trigger me to, because I'm in a state. I'm in an altered state. I'm just like doing my thing and going, and sometimes I'm quite tired myself, and then I just it's just like dropping into that kind of deep state, and my voice just sort of fades into that. It's very quiet. So remind me by all means.
Okay, yeah, I will try that first with the headphones, and then
Try with the headphones. And I'll try and be conscious of it. That speak a bit louder. Okay. Any other questions, Lauren?
I don't have any other questions. Thank you for doing this class tonight for me. That's awesome.
Thanks for
I will definitely get with a couple of my friends that I know have interest in ACIM and talk to them about the benefits. And then we'll see about doing something, because I have a much larger audience. So I'll see about getting it to them.
Maybe we could put something together, give you a week or two to promote it, and then put something together in say first or second week of January, because that's a good time. People are coming back from holidays. They're like, okay, what am I going to do with my time this year? It's always a good time for anything like this. So just let me know the day and the time, and I'm happy to do it at 3 a.m. if you want me to. My time.
No worries. No
time.
worries. Thank you, and travel safe.
Thank you. Yeah. I have a flight to catch in a few hours. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Hi, Katie. Nice to see you.
Yes.
I was actually going to guide a meditation for you, so I'm happy to do that if you want me to. Or have you had enough?
Yeah, I don't have. I have another class to be in later on this evening, so I don't have time to do the meditation right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you have time, Katie?
I have time.
Always has time. Okay. Well, I'll guide you through one then, Katie.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you as a recording, Lauren.
Thank you.
In fact, I've sent you this most of this masterclass as a recording.
I saw it. Thank you so much.
And you got another half an hour coming your way, and I'll stop this one and then send the meditation through to you as well.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you. Have a good
Nice to meet
Christmas.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year.
And I'm sure we'll speak before next year.
Okay.
Okay. Namaste.
Oh, okay. You will send me a meditation, and how did I? Oh,
No,
are we doing it now?
through a meditation if you like. No.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Would you like to do
Why
that?
not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay.
But I
So
just need to go into the restroom for 30 seconds.
yes, okay. So do that, and then we'll reconvene in a couple of minutes. And I'll get some tea.
Okay.
All right. See you shortly.
How much sleep do you need? I'm
Well, I haven't had
so
very
excited.
much in the last little while. But
Can you say it again? The tone, the audio wasn't. Something was wrong with the audio. Can you say it again?
I said I haven't had very
Can
much
you hear
sleep.
me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What is very much sleep?
Well, like 3 hours in the last 48, something like that. It's just been intense because I've been running this program, and then I have other businesses, so I've got to just try and
What are
find out.
your other businesses?
I do corporate finance, So it's fundraising basically for companies.
Okay.
And I also have a consultancy business in the UK where I do card payment solutions and utilities for UK SME companies. So I've just had a bit of work to do on that as well. So yeah, it's busy, and this is a full-time. I mean, I spend today. I haven't done an email because I just suspended the program. But normally it's like email takes 5, 6, 7 hours, and then and the WhatsApp messages. Are you getting the WhatsApp messages, by the way?
Yeah, I'm getting them. Like
So,
you mean the group, right?
yeah, so producing that material, every day I've got to go and design it, and I've got to write
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
put it into an email. The group, you're not on that mailing list yet, but I'll put you on for the Art and Letting Go Club members. So they get an email every day, which has got all the material in it, and a course lesson, and links to meditations, and so on. It's very comprehensive. I spend a lot of time on it, and then running the sessions. Running the live sessions is, depending, just 2 sessions a day. It's like 4 or 5 hours a day. Plus,
More than that. It's like 8 hours when I was meeting the last 2 sessions.
Two sessions normally would be like an hour and a half in the afternoon, and then evening we might be 2 to 2.5. So you're talking maybe 3 to 4 hours if we do both sessions of the live sessions, and then I've still got to do the emails, and so it's really a full-time job. And then I've got these other businesses going on the side, which need some of my attention as well. So it's been a pretty intense year, really. I think I need a bit of downtime and some rest. So I'm going to do that over the next few days, and then I've suspended the program until the 23rd. So it gives me time just to kind of catch up on some things that I need to do for the other things, and get into some kind of normal sleeping pattern, and sharpen the saw a bit, as Stephen Covey would say.
What would he say?
Sharpen the saw. It's a guy called Stephen Covey.
Sharpen the sword. Yeah.
Are you familiar with his work?
What was his name again?
Stephen Covey. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
I think I read that. It sounds familiar.
So as part of that, he's saying, well, one of the habits is to sharpen the saw. You need to rest. You need to have downtime to make sure that like your energy levels are good. That you're not running on empty.
Wow.
Otherwise, you risk working too much, burning out, and then you crash. So I'm aware of that. I mean, I can get away with stuff other people can't, because I meditate and I do breath work.
Yeah.
But that definitely helps. But I do. I also need to sleep.
Still a body experience.
I do need a bit more sleep. So we'll have that over the next few days. And we're going to rest and have some downtime, which will be nice. And not have to do quite the same volume of work. But I'm as you can see, I'm committed to this. I think this process is very valuable for people. It is life-changing, and someone needs to be the architect and the instrument of that. This work doesn't just happen. Someone's got to do it. So I felt the call. The Holy Spirit really guided me to start this 3.5 years ago, and
wow.
just to continue with it. Say, well, develop a program that if someone really wants to do a deep dive into A Course in Miracles and use that to transform their mind, in 1 year, this program will deliver that. You really can have a huge amount of shift and change in 1 year if you do the program. But it does require that it's comprehensive and that you're doing these live sessions and etc. Because it doesn't happen if you just listen to the odd podcast like once a week and do the odd meditation. It just doesn't happen. You need the immersion.
Yeah.
So it's about facilitating that for people, creating a program where, okay, this is happening. Yes, they've still got to join, but these sessions are happening twice a day. So all you've got to do is log in, and then it happens, and you join, a facilitator like me, and there's a group that you join, and it's just it makes it really easy.
I saw your videos 4 hours. I was like, whoa. I can't remember that there is. Okay, there's one from a UK. What is that? There is a groups and their sessions. The sessions of, I think. Oh wait, I just look up their name. They have also sessions which are 4 hours long, but it's not a normal duration for sessions.
No, it isn't. It's because we're trying to do the text and the workbook. So it's a systematic program. So every day it's like, okay, there's a text reading and there's a workbook reading to do. And if you work through that systematically in the way we do, where it's discussions and questions and answers paragraph by paragraph, that's how long it takes with the meditation.
Did
And we did a bit of a check-in to start with as well.
I wonder if you read books from Gary Knight and Kenneth Wapnick, because they helped me, or this is helping me. Like the Kenneth Wapnick,
Yeah,
I think.
I've read books by both of them.
Hmm?
I have. I've read books by both of them. There's some good stuff there.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we? Do you want to do this meditation? Happy to guide you through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just make yourself comfortable.
Mhm.
So your feet shoulder apart. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And we'll start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises. The chest rises. Clenching the sphincter muscle, locking the energy in. Feel the energy rising up your spine into your heart center. And just draw it up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Now just scan your mind, so just noticing any thoughts and emotions going on there. And bring to mind any situation that's troubling you. So you mentioned that you're going to visit your father. Whatever is stimulating any kind of negative thought. Could just be a little bit of anxiety, frustration, ranging to anger, guilt, resentment, and so on. So bring the situation, the person to mind. Just kind of breathe into it. Imagine you breathing in this spacious light presence. And just acknowledge these negative thoughts and emotions. So you recall them and just observe them. Any description that comes to mind. Of those thoughts and emotions, and it's as though you're just observing them. You're not the thought and emotion. You're just acknowledging it, being aware of it. So just remain very present and aware. Breathe in again. Without judgment. You're not judging or labeling anyone or anything in the situation. You're just observing the thoughts and emotions. If they're not pleasant, if they're not helpful, you understand that they can be released. You're starting to realize that these are not you. You find that awareness in your mind. And remind yourself that this is all it's already a dream. Just an illusion or a dream. And you want to be free of it. So exhale. Just letting it all go. Reminding yourself that really this situation is just designed by the ego to reinforce the separate self it wants to believe in. As you drop the ideas, the belief in the dream, find a sense of peace arising. Sinking deeper into the peace. Breathing in again, in the nostrils, feeling the lower stomach. In the air, beautiful golden white light, imagine it flowing in with the air into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart, connecting with your heart space. Remind yourself that it's all your projection. Everything you experience in this world is a projection of your own mind. It seems to be outside of you, but in truth it's in your own mind. There's really only one mind that's dreaming the dream. And this all seems to be happening independent of you, but the projection, it says that this is connected to your own mind, whatever the situation is, the person, how they're behaving. It's a projection of your own mind, your own beliefs. So this is a way of getting in touch with those beliefs, recognizing this the projection. And as you notice those projections, you'll so exhale. Releasing this illusion of projection, like a dark smoke out of your mouth. This was leaving black smoke. Going on, so just gonna rest here for a bit. And more deeper and deeper in each breath. So now, if you breathe in again, just have some compassion. Compassion is about feelings. So just feel into the situation. Maybe have compassion for yourself because it's a difficult situation. Observe the thoughts and emotions. Feel into it. And feel this compassion in your heart. Put one hand in your heart and connect to your heart space if necessary. And just feel whatever those emotions are. And understand that everyone's really doing the best they can in this tricky situation, this difficult world we live in. So whatever someone else is doing, even if it's not particularly loving, kind or generous, understand that they're doing the best they can. Forgive them powerfully knowing what they do. Now, as you breathe in again, just bring to mind any emotions. If anything is difficult, negative, limiting, contracting, constrictive. Feel into those emotions. So you might feel painful, physically, emotionally painful, uncomfortable. Breathe in, just and you're just going to choose to let them go now. And their power to obscure the eternal light. So breathe in the beautiful golden or white light. Imagine breathing it into your heart center, to the crown of your head, every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every corner of your mind, every fiber of your being. And in the presence of the light, and no darkness can continue. So you exhale, just releasing, letting it go. The nothingness that it really is. Flowing it all away. Finding a stillness, finding the light beyond. Sinking into the light. Roll my stomach into the spine. And feel this pure formless awareness, this spaciousness rising. So let go of that grievance. Grievance, and the light, you're complete and whole. Feel it. You recognize that everything is really perfect in its imperfection, whatever the situation was. You let it go, you have let it go. So it was all perfect opportunity to just become aware of another part of your ego and let it go. So just appreciate the perfection of this. That perfect in its imperfections towards your powerful lesson. So breathing in again. We'll just embrace the gratitude. that you can have. So every situation is there for your learning. Every situation is there to help you find grace. Appreciate the gratitude for this teaching, this process taught by Jesus. Remember the difficulties, the challenges, this is all part of the process. The person who challenges you the most, you should be most grateful to because that love and that gratitude in your heart. Remind yourself that you are forgiven and you forgive. So you let go and you're released. So sink in this brother, sink in issue. Forgiveness, letting go. Just keep that again as you see your brother in your mind and just say to yourself, to address this person, I forgive you, name them, and I'm forgiven completely. I was forgiven and released. You always are, have been, and will be one self. And so I love you unconditionally as myself. I love you as myself. And then sink into that awareness. This is the awareness of oneness. Feel the peace, and love, and joy that comes with it. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, observe your breath flowing in and out through your nostrils. Watch your breath. And you'll sink into this deep peace. When your thoughts arise, just observe them and release them with your breath, blowing them away with the breeze of the breath, and nothingness what they really are. Sigh it out and sink inwards to the peace that forgiveness brings. Your oneness. Surrender to this experience completely for another couple of minutes of deep silence. Just feel that you're one with your brother. I forgive you, my brother, and let all my negative thoughts and emotions go. And I rest in peace with you as one, as the one self we are. And so just gently bring yourself back. Awareness of the body, and the breath and the senses in the world. And on the count of three, you open your eyes. So, one, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Still flow there in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Checking in, scanning the mind, noticing the thoughts and emotions and sensations going on. Particularly anything that feels negative, small, limiting, contracted, constricting in any way. And you're just going to let it go as you exhale. Blow it out with the breath, releasing it and sinking in. Going deeply into the mind. Just the air flowing out, stomach and the chest sucked back in. On the count of two, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling with your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose, notice these things. And it's very still, calm. Small and still mind. Total no illusions. You are forgiven and you are forgiven. So, observe as we breathe in again, any smell in your nose, any taste in your mouth. Just what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Notice what you're hearing. Without any judgment. So notice this nice, clear, calm, aware state. Anchor this state in. You're going to carry that with you for the rest of your day. And on into Christmas tomorrow. So it is said, so it is done. And you're going to open your eyes on the count of three. Just take a minute to look around, noticing the various objects in the room around you. without any judgment, in a very calm, detached kind of way. Just notice something for a few seconds and move on, look at something else, and you notice that it's the same. This is the samadhi state. Everything's the same. It's the sameness of perception. It underlies everything. So anchor the state in, carry it with you through your day. Remind yourself frequently that forgiveness is the key to your happiness. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and the session. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Jono.
Namaste. And I will, I'll send you my.
Namaste.
I'll send you my PayPal. You just need my email address for PayPal. No.
Yeah, I just need your email address.
Yeah, I'll send you the amount and the email address. And do it anytime, there's no rush. Okay, so I will see you again. I'm not sure when I'll see you again, actually.
Sunday, you said, right?
It's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday.
So have a